Testing. Is my mic working? Okay, mic's working. My model itself needs to be repositioned though. Hi everyone, hello, welcome. We are back for more Blender and other stuff tonight. Um, I managed to get quite a bit of sleep, probably more so than I wanted. But we're back. We do have to probably keep this one a little bit shorter than I would like to, because I believe I have a meeting in the morning. Spook model, yes, we have a spoopy model that is currently having an issue with a lazy eye. Don't know why it's having that lazy eye issue, but it is. I just need to double check real quick. Yes, I do have a meeting at like 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, so we probably won't go past midnight at the latest tonight. But we're gonna do some more stuff here. We're actually gonna do something a little bit unique. You missed not just yesterday, but all morning. I was streaming since 8 p.m. last night until 8 in the morning today. A lot of streaming. That's like what, 12 hours? 12 hours of streaming? It was a lot. It was a lot. But no, we got more stuff, and I do have a couple of surprises for y'all as well. So let me go ahead and fix my model position real quick. I was kind of like working on testing some stuff. So now if you are on Twitch, you missed the notification and had a serious convo. Oh, okay. But now if you're on Twitch, you should be able to, let's make sure this redeem works. Okay, that redeem's not working. Why is that redeem not working of all redeems? That redeem should be working, so give me seconds to fix that one. But after this morning, I decided to come back into my nodes and go back into Blender, and I took care of fixing some of the missing blend shapes that we're missing, as well as testing some other cool things. So there's kind of an experimental thing that I'm trying, which is having multiple hairstyles on one single model. And I've got it mostly working. Keyword mostly working. Okay, first off, let's add the toggle wings. So I'm gonna do ring toggle. Make sure that this one is working. Yep, okay, wings are toggling on and off. Is transient. Well, that should be toggling on and off, like binary, but whatever. Okay, so we got our wings working. And then we need this one here to work as well. So this one, make sure, yes, that is now working. Okay. I don't have the redeems working right now or enabled for the other stuff. As you might remember, you know, we did have some like hair color, eye color ones. We can use them. It's just I figured right now it's probably better if I just turn those off for the time being. So in the meantime, because we are using a new like design, a new outfit, I decided to turn off the toggles, or I mean not the toggles, but the redeems for changing my hair color, my eye color. But we do still have them, so we can easily, we can turn off our eye color and turn it back on to whatever we did. We did all of that work this morning, so we made a bunch of extra redeems. We even now have redeems to toggle on off my bandages. So we have those good to go. And there's one for turning on the piercings, so we can turn our piercings on and off back here. It's supposed to be like a quick, easy toggle. There we go. Yeah, so we do have, turning our rings on and off and our piercings on and off. Here's the rings. So we did a lot of work this morning, obviously. We did quite a bit of work here. But the one that I have been trying to get working the hardest, that has been kind of an annoyance, is this very experimental one here. This one changes my hairstyle entirely to an all-new hairstyle. So as you can see here, we go from being twin-tailed down to long hair. It unfortunately does not seem to want to work all that well with keeping the hair colors. So I think what I need to do is actually make a completely separate toggle for the hair colors of this particular model here. Not model, but of that hairstyle. If I turn off the black hair, if I go to like the pink hair, and then I turn on the hair toggle, it works perfectly fine. There is no physics attached to it yet, so it does kind of you know, goes through the body right now. But it is something I am really proud to have gotten to even work in the first place. And I just need to add the physics onto it and some other little fine-tuned tweaks here. But yeah, we can now switch back and forth between having twin tails and having long hair. Like I said, I just gotta add the physics to it later. I'm gonna toggle back on though. We're gonna toggle back on the black hair because, you know, again, it's spoopy season. So because spoopy season, we need to have our proper hair color here. Or we can go brunette or whatever other color we want. You know, we have like a little brunette one. I kind of actually don't like how this turned out. It looks better in Blender than it does here. So I might actually disable that one or like adjust it. And then we have, oh, yay! You decided to throw a bunch of shit at me. Congrats. I finally got that one working. That one was being a pain. You might remember it was taking its sweet time trying to get it to work. And now that Redeem actually works properly, finally it'll work now. So yeah, y'all can throw a bunch of shit at me. It does 3 different plushies that it cycles through. So it should be a dog, a wolf, and a fox plushie. So yeah, we've got 3 different plushies, and they randomize their size, and they fly at me and knock me down. I couldn't get the ragdolling to work the way I wanted to, so I think I need to actually edit my ragdoll physics. Here's all my colliders. You can see my colliders here. And they are supposed to have collision detection on, but I don't know, there's some like issues with some of the stuff here with the ragdolls, so I need to kind of figure out why some of the ragdolls or some of the physics just isn't working properly. Like if I turn it on, it just, you know, it like basically breaks my model. So I'm not sure why enabling ragdoll physics kind of completely breaks my model right now. It used to not, and it's something I did recently to it that is causing it to break, and I just don't know what the problem is that's making it break, but something is making it break. What was I gonna say? Let's see here. Yeah, so you know, we got, like I said, all kinds of stuff we did this morning. We were quite busy in Blender doing a ton of stuff in Blender tonight. Morning, no, tonight. Last night, this morning, whichever it is, both of them. Yeah, we did a lot of work on it. Let me make sure that the rings, is the rings even enabled? Or is the ring toggle even enabled on here? It is not. Hold up. Is the hydrate redeem working at least? Okay, so hydrate's working. So hydrate is working, and yeah. So we just need to come here, and I need to turn on the ring toggle, and we'll leave all those ones on for the time being. Okay, I just want to make sure that it's working. Toggle rings. Yep. Okay. Cool. Ow. I wasn't trying to throw shit at myself, but apparently I threw stuff at myself. But yeah, so all those are now working. But again, like I said, I do have some news for y'all. So all the 3D assets that I've been working on are now going to be available soon on booth.pm. I could have sworn I had a tab open for the store, and I don't see, oh, here it is. So let me switch my screen over here real quick, and I want to go to manage shop, and then we're gonna go to not general settings. I'm gonna go over here to this here. So it's not quite public yet. It's not quite ready just yet. But oh, and my mole like off to the side. There we go. But now if you go to malcopro.booth, you will find that I'm now going to be having a store on here where everyone's going to be able to download all of my 3D assets that I've been making. I need to figure out how to change this username here, because that's not actually even my Pixiv username anymore. I don't know why it's still using the old username, but for whatever reason it is. But yeah, so there will now be an online shop to be able to download all of the 3D assets that we make together on stream and stuff that I make off stream. It'll all become available on Booth. And I am thinking of also putting them on CG Trader as well, because CG Trader is a marketplace that I personally use constantly. So there'll be at least 2 different places to be able to download my models from. With that being said, I'm going to be putting them in, I think, 3 or 4 different formats at a time. So you'll be able to download them in what's it called, in FBX format, GLB format, depending on the model, VRM format, depending on the model, and we'll also be doing some stuff specific to Naruto. That stuff will be available through the Steam Workshop, as well as through the Booth, whichever you prefer for downloading it through. So, like I said, there'll be at least 4 formats, and occasionally we'll do a 5th one, which will be just the straight up Blender source files. But I think for the most part, it's just gonna be those 3 or 4 formats for what stuff will be available. So yeah, I'm happy to announce that we finally got the shop page more or less active. I just needed to start adding items to it, which I'll be doing tonight after I get off stream. I'll be adding items here to it. I also need to, swap out the I need to swap out my icon in here, because that is quite an older image of my model. That was back when we had the Goth Mommy model. So we're going to probably do a new icon for that as well coming up. Yeah, I'm really excited to now be able to share all of my models properly with everyone. Previously they were on Ko-Fi, and some of them still are on Ko-Fi. If I pull that window back up, and if I go to, I believe it's ko-fi.com. Yeah, just go to ko-fi.com/manage. You guys can see all my stuff here, unfortunately. But if I go here to the shop, so over here on Ko-Fi, we currently have 3 VTuber models that are completely free for anyone to download and use. But I'm going to be moving these over to Booth and adding a lot more, obviously, because as nice as it is to have these here on Ko-Fi, no one's really going to Ko-Fi to download 3D models. It's not really that big of a market here on Ko-Fi. Ko-Fi, whatever you want to call it, Ko-Fi, however you want to pronounce it. Not really huge market for 3D models on here compared to Booth, which is why I want to start putting stuff over on the Booth page. Because I just feel like that is gonna be a better source for y'all to go to. The only problem with Booth is that you have to use PayPal, and that most of that it prices things in yen, which is why, like I said, I'm going to also be using CD Trader. So if you don't want to use Booth, you can use CG Trader here, and you'll be able to download them here as well. I think I will probably make them either free or like $1 on Booth, however. Whereas on CG Trader, I think I'm going to do a minimum of $5, just because it is a much bigger marketplace. And I would like to use it as additional income to help support some of the stuff that I have planned coming up. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, so tonight we are going to dive back into Blender, but we're also going to make a tier list of some potato chips tonight. We're going to do a live eating, a live tier list of eating some potato chips here, and I'll show you all which chips they're going to be. We're not going to eat them right now, not right away, but I have here 4 cans of potato chips, and yes, I said cans. These are all canned chips, because, I don't know, I was craving Pringles the other day, and I was like, you know what, since I'm craving Pringles, we're going to do a Pringles tier list, except instead of it being Pringles directly, we have some alternatives to Pringles that we're going to be trying, as well as 2 different sodas as well. So we're going to try 2 sodas. I'm gonna put these sodas off to the side here real quick so you guys can see those as well. So we have 2 sodas I want to try, and then also 2 or 4 cans of chips. So if I come over here and I go to, where is it at? It's gonna be under live camera. If I activate that, yes, I can activate that now. And then if I go back over here to the channel switcher and I find wherever the camera source is, it's around here somewhere. Camera. There we go. So yeah, we'll try these out tonight. We have Pringles, we have Jonettes, we have Colby, and then we have Chip Star potato chips. And then we have 2 new flavors of ramune. This is a blackberry ramune, and we have a what is this? Lemon ramune. So Satoshi lemon ramune. So I figured I was originally just going to like try them out and then make a tier list out of it, but then when I posted on Twitter, I asked some of you guys about doing it live, and y'all decided that it should be done live. So we're gonna do that later. I do need to figure out a better way of getting this camera that's currently in my hand to actually stand up. This camera is kind of broken, and it doesn't want to stay in place anymore. It likes to just kind of flop about. I do have something that could maybe work to kind of like rectify that a little bit, but it's not quite an ideal solution because it's also broken. So I don't know, we'll figure out the proper way or best way of attaching it all together and making sure that we can actually get stuff, you know, work attached and standing up straight. I'm like just kind of screwing it onto here real quick. It's a little tripod, little itty bitty tripod. Doesn't quite work all that well though. Like I said, partially because the camera itself is broken, which is a big part of the problem. And I do need to probably invest in getting a new camera soon for some of these streams. It's just money isn't exactly, you know, free or cheap. And well, take it back, money is like free, I guess, but like money's not easy to come by. It doesn't just like grow on trees, and I do have to like work to get stuff, you know. But yeah, we'll try out putting it on this tiny little tripod here and see if putting it on the tripod helps. I don't know how much it's going to help, if at all, but we'll give it a try in a bit. Come on. I'm trying to like get the camera stable, and it doesn't want to stabilize itself. Like I said, it's quite annoying having broken hardware, because broken hardware just never wants to work properly. Oh, now we are facing down at my bottoms. Good thing we are gonna have the camera live right there. Otherwise we would have to be on Fansly probably. Okay, whatever. It's probably as best as I'm gonna get the camera stabilized. Like I said, I need to buy a new camera. It's just I'm not made of money, so until I can come across some additional money, which is why I'm gonna be putting stuff here on CG Trader as well as on Booth, um, and then Ko-Fi as well, and obviously we have our Fansly too. What did we do on the Fansly stream? We talked about stuff. We modeled. Oh, we did some 3D modeling of a dildo. I don't know if I can say that on Twitch, but we made some adult toys in Blender, and then we had a guest come on the stream. So we had a guest for the first time come on the stream, and we talked a lot about what it's like working in a sex shop, as well as um, some ranting about the games that you find on Steam, and ranting about some other stuff as well. So I don't know, you missed a lot. We were on Fansly for 5 hours straight. Yeah, we did 5 hours on Fansly, and then we switched over to Twitch, and we were on Twitch until 8 in the morning. So it was a very long night. And surprisingly, I did actually get some sleep today, somehow. I don't know how I got some sleep, but I did get some sleep. It is not like archived yet, so I have been recording these to my hard drive. They should be getting recorded at least. I'll just double check here. So this is my like recording folder here. They should be getting saved to the drive. I'll double check, but they should be getting saved here. There's all of the other streams. Yeah, so it did save. It is 5 hours long. I will have to like upload it somewhere. Yeah, basically. But it is a 5 hour long VOD that I need to like figure out where to upload it to, but we'll get it uploaded somewhere. But yeah, it was quite long. it was a pretty long time, but I have been saving these to my hard drive as well. Oh yeah, that's another new model that we have. I totally forgot. We actually we made one of the best models ever. If you ever played Interactive Buddy back in like the early 2000s, we made a model of Interactive Buddy as well. This model took like maybe 30 seconds total to make. It was super easy, obviously, because it's just a bunch of spheres. But yeah, I've been busy doing a lot of stuff with all of the streaming and whatnot that's been going on. Yeah, from the old Flash game. Exactly. You know what's sad? I had to explain what that game was to my boyfriend. When I like tried to show it off to him, he didn't know what it was, and I was like, "It's Interactive Buddy." I was like, "How do you not know what Interactive Buddy is?" But he didn't know. He didn't know what Interactive Buddy was, and I was like, "How? How do you not know? It's like a classic Flash game." Yeah. So. Like I said, we'll be pulling out some Blender. I don't know what we're gonna model, but we're gonna model some stuff. That way we can throw it onto Booth later. So I don't know how he missed it. I have no clue. But anyways, yeah, so we're gonna hop in here into Blender, and we're gonna model some stuff. Again, I have no clue what we're gonna be modeling. Just that we are gonna model stuff tonight. I don't know, we'll pick something. Maybe I'll ask like ChatGPT or something to give me some ideas for what to model. But I wanted to hop back in here. I wanted to do some more stuff. I also need to finish working some environments together, because I want to have not just props, but I'm also going to be putting avatars and also putting complete environments on there. So that's something as well that I think will be really fun to work on over time. Uh, Probably not going to do a full environment tonight because environments take forever to model, to do like a whole world. Um, it does take quite a while to do. Even like something simple like a cafe does take a while. Actually, there is one cafe in particular that I do want to recreate here on stream. We're going to do texturing and all of it too. But that particular cafe, to model it, I'm estimating will probably take at least 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours to do. But there's a cafe that I've always wanted to recreate, and I want to probably put this into VR chat. So we'll probably also make it VR chat compatible. Um, but one of my favorite animes of all time is this one here called Eve no Jikan, or Time of Eve. And basically, this anime is about a world where uh, androids live amongst humans. Basically, a lot of humans own androids, but every android has like a halo that gets displayed over their head. You can kind of see it here in like this image. They have like a little halo that displays over their head to signify that they are not human, that they are an android, right? So and there's a lot of like discrimination that goes on in the anime regarding the androids, regarding people who like the androids and treat them as more than just a robotic servant. And one day, the main character here, he ends up checking the like access log on his android, and he finds that his android has a weird entry in it. An entry he's never seen before shows up on like the GPS location for where his android had gone throughout the day. So he decides to follow his android and see where his android has been going. And she ends up coming to this cafe known as the Time of Eve Cafe. It's what my some of my stuff has been based on for a very long time. It's been based on this exact anime in this particular cafe. It's why my Discord server has cafe in the name, for example. But he goes to this cafe, or he finds this cafe that this android is going to, and inside the cafe, there's some sort of like jammer technology in place that hides the halos above all the heads of androids. So you cannot tell anymore who is an android and who is a human. And everyone kind of like interacts together or interacts with each other under the one rule that there is no discrimination between robots and humans allowed in the cafe. So it's very like interesting of a anime because it's very perspective opening into a lot of things. And one thing I've always wanted to do is I've always wanted to recreate the cafe itself. I'm trying to see if there's any like good artwork of it. But I think it'd be really fun to go through and find some reference art, if we can find some reference art of the cafe. Or maybe I'll just go back and rewatch it because I do own it on DVD. Maybe I'll just go back and rewatch it, and I'll take a bunch of screenshots rewatching it. But I would love to completely recreate the cafe, and we'll make it VR chat compatible, so that way anyone can, also enjoy the setting of this cafe. But that is going to be at least a 10-hour, probably a 12-hour stream. If we go from start to finish, at least, if we do all of the modeling of every single item here, and every single like nook and cranny, if you do all the modeling of that plus texturing, as well as maybe adding some physics to stuff so that way stuff can be pushed around, it's definitely going to take a minimum of like 10 hours of render time. So we'll probably save that for a weekend, possibly. But yeah, I would love to recreate that. I actually want to do more of that, not just of this anime, but I think in general, one of the things I want to do at least once a month, maybe going forward, is going to be picking either an object from an anime or a particular environment from an anime and seeing what we can do about recreating it in Blender. I think that'll be a really cool project at least once a month to go through and do, as just like a monthly project is going to be doing that. So we'll see. We will figure that out, how we're going to do that. But yeah, that's something that I kind of wanted to do at some point is start recreating iconic scenes and iconic props from anime. Uh, Maybe what we'll do actually tonight, there's actually a couple things I want to do. I do want to actually model some weapons, so I'm actually going to look up here. Um, Odachi. Odachi sword. Um, I do want to, I think I posted about it on Twitter not long ago. But I want to get back into game design, and one of the games I want to make is a Dynasty Warrior style game. So maybe tonight we'll spend some time making some swords or something. That might be kind of fun to do. So we can see about maybe, like I said, maybe recreating some swords or something. I don't know. I don't really have like a plan right now because, like I said, I've been sleeping pretty much all day. I've been asleep, so um, not really sure exactly what my plan is at the moment. But I do want to probably start modeling some weapons soon so we can do a couple of a Musou game. I honestly don't think it would be a lot of work. In all honesty, I don't think it would be. Because what a Musou game is very simple, right? A Musou game, basically, you have 4 buttons and then your movement for any sort of Musou game. Basically, you have like your WASD or your joystick to walk around. You have your second joystick or your mouse to look around. But at the core gameplay, you have a light attack, a heavy attack, a Musou attack, which is like your special. So that's 3 attacks there. And then you have a jump button, so you can jump. You can't crouch, but you can jump. So you have 4 main buttons that you're going to be using the most. And then you might have like an extra button to swap between weapon 1 and weapon 2. And depending on the era of Musou game, this is heavily era dependent. But if you go back to like Dynasty Warriors 3, or 3 Extreme Legends, or somewhere around that era, you did have an extra button to use a bow and arrow, and an extra button to charge your Musou. But in terms of like the actual buttons, it's really simple, and then it's just a hack and slash at its core. It's just a hack and slash where you are overly powered, and there's hordes of enemies who are severely underpowered, except for the generals, who are usually on par with you, if not a little bit stronger. But yeah, like, I don't know, I feel like it'd be pretty easy to do a Musou game, I think. I think that'd be one of the easier games to build. Also, doing a boomer shooter, I think would be kind of fun to do. We'll do like a boomer shooter and some other stuff as well. But I don't know, I think doing a Musou game wouldn't be that hard, ultimately. I'll have to figure it out. I did download Godot engine, so I can go over to Godot and start learning how that engine works. I haven't actually opened it up yet, so I actually don't even know like how the menus work. But I did download it here. So we have here, yes, we currently don't have any projects. Sure, we can explore official projects. So yeah, I did, like I said, I made this, and I don't know, we'll just leave this here. I cannot save a project in a selected path. Please make a folder. Okay. I'll label this game dev / Godot. And I don't know, we'll just make it be labeled as like test game for now. It's gonna tell me that the folder doesn't exist, and that's because it really doesn't. Oh, and Godot crashed. So interesting that Godot just crashed on me first thing out of the box. But we do have a Godot engine that we can make it in. We also have Unity. I'm just trying to start moving my workflow away from Unity because of the recent stuff that Unity was doing. So even though I do have Unity installed and I have to use it, and I do bring up Unity on stream from time to time, I am trying to move away from using Unity as much as I was, and that way, and focusing on some of these other engines that don't have as bad of like licensing problems. Yeah, Unity is not safe anymore. Unfortunately, that is the reality, that Unity just isn't safe anymore. It sucks, but it's what it is. I hate it because I was looking forward to doing some cool stuff with Unity, but it's just a matter of principle to me. If Unity did what Unreal Engine does, because Epic Games with Unreal, they do a flat 5% revenue share, and they're upfront about it. It's very upfront that you're gonna have a 5% revenue share plus like the 30% revenue share on Steam. So you're looking at about a total of like a 35% revenue share, but it's upfront when you're using Unreal Engine. And because you know it's upfront, you can calculate what it is, and you don't have to worry too much. It's just kind of like, you know, a given that you have to pay it. But what Unity had tried to do, and they did walk it back somewhat, not 100% walked back, but Unity did walk it back. They were trying to do a per download / install fee. So they wanted to charge developers like 20 cents for every single time the game was installed. Not every single time it was purchased, but every single time the game was installed. And there's no way to actually track that at all. There's no way to track it in a way that prevents someone from like installing the game, uninstalling it, and then installing it again to cost the developer money. And just the fact that they tried it in the first place, just on principle, is horrible for them to do, and it's lost a lot of trust of developers. So that's why I've been trying to move away from using Unity on streams and using Unity in my projects, because it's just a matter of principle to me, and it's not something I support. And if they had just said, hey, we want to do a 5% rev share, I would have been like, cool, we can do a 5% rev share, that's fine with me. I don't mind that, because you're being upfront about it, and it's very easy to track a revenue share system. I would have been completely cool with them saying that they wanted to do rev share. It's the fact that they tried to do it per install is the problem to me, because that just seems excessively greedy, and that's not something I want to support and to deal with, you know. So that's kind of my gripe with Unity right now, and why I've been like trying to learn Godot and trying to learn other engines and see what other engines are out there. Speaking of engines though, one of these days, probably be a week-long project, actually. So one of these coming weeks, we are going to make at least one game on stream, but we're going to make it using a very old engine that I am very familiar with. We're going to be making a game using the Quake engine, mostly because I just wanted to revisit some of those old tools and take a look at how does using some of those old tools that I grew up using compare to modern day tools like Blender. And actually, Blender's not even modern. I actually learned not too long ago that Blender actually first released back in like '98. So Blender's been around for quite a long time, actually. And I had no clue that Blender had been around since like the '90s. But yeah, Blender is actually pretty ancient as well, surprisingly. But I wanted to, you know, see and show what it's like, you know, using a modern tool set compared to what I had learned game development on way back in the day, and just kind of compare the two. And I think it would be kind of fun to do like a very simple, very quick game using one of those older engines, just to show that it can still be done in like 2023, that you can still use something like Quake engine or something from way back then, and still make something that looks decent and is more or less playable. That's kind of the goal there. Um, yeah, I think that'd be like a really kind of fun thing to do. We will have to do all the modeling for that probably in one of those older tools, because I do not think that Blender can even export some of those older formats, not to my knowledge at least. I'm sure someone's probably made a import-export plugin for it. We can actually look that up. Let's see here. Blender Quake MDL. Quake MDL import export. So there actually is a couple of plugins here for importing, exporting those older Quake format models. So I might actually download these plugins and give them a try, and see what we can do with them. I'm trying to also remember like the exact limitations of that format, because that format is one I haven't touched in about a decade. It's been quite a long time since I've touched the MDL format. And there's two different versions of the MDL format as well, which is another issue. So there is the Quake MDL, and then there is the Half-Life MDL format as well, because Half-Life used the same model name, but it used a different format altogether. So there's also that as well. That's another issue I need to consider. And or maybe what might be even better than using MDL would probably be using Quake MD2 or MD3, which it looks like there is a MD2 import-export script as well. So I'm gonna download these scripts later, and we'll see what we can do about making a game using probably Quake engine, or maybe Quake 2 or Quake 3. Whichever is going to work best for us. But yeah, I just wanted to, kind of take a look back at some of those older engines that I've worked with and see what we can do with them. See what we can do with an engine from the 90s in the year 2023. If it is it even still viable to use one of those engines for game development? And I think it is. And the reason why I think it is because there is a game that just came out recently. There's a game that just came out, made by a company called Bethesda. And Bethesda uses an engine called the Creation Engine, which is based on Gamebryo 2.8. That engine goes back to like 2006, 2008, roughly around there. And they're still using the same engine. Another game that just came out using an ancient engine is Armored Core 6, which uses the Souls engine. And the Souls engine is like pretty ancient as well. So I think it is still viable to use some of these older engines. They just might need to be somewhat updated in terms of the rendering. But I think they're still viable to use some of those older engines, and it'd be kind of fun to just kind of go back and see what can be done using those. So yeah, we'll check out some of that stuff in a bit. But yeah, in terms of actually modeling something tonight, I'm not sure what I'm gonna model, but we'll figure it out. Like I said, one thing I was considering doing is making a katana or some sort of other weapon. So why don't we take a look at some different weapons here that we can use for like reference material. I'll go fantasy weapons. Maybe. Actually, that's probably not a good idea. That's going to give us a bunch of like other fantasy weapons. What I want is actually going to be historic historical weapons. And probably want to look specifically if we're doing like a Musou kind of game. I guess that's another thing too. If we do a Musou game, what setting do we put it in? Do we do a fantasy era game where it's kind of like Dynasty Warriors, where it's all fantasy-ish, or like Chinese inspired, but it's basically all historical weapons? Or do we put it in a more modern setting? But if we put it in a more modern setting, I feel like that won't work as well, because then you would just have your usual, firearms. And I want to avoid firearms for a Musou style game, because I feel like the whole purpose of a Musou style game is to hack and slash. And once you start adding in firearms into it, you kind of ruin the gameplay overall, and it become like overly imbalanced. So I want to try to figure out a setting that could work for a Musou style game, but be different enough that is like that we can stylize it, but also like but kind of avoid any sort of like ranged weaponry is kind of what I'm trying to figure out. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like the best way to do it. What might be kind of cool actually for it is to do like an anime-ish environment, which one I love doing toon shading. Doing toon shading and stuff is absolutely fun. I love doing toon shading. But what might be kind of cool for it would be to take a look at like maybe something like Closers or Soul Worker, kind of see what they have going on for like their environments, and go from there. But yeah, I love doing toon shading. Toon shading is one of my favorite ways of shading stuff, and I'm getting a little bit better at it here and there. I mean, I still have a lot of work I need to work on for it, but I have been getting better at doing the toon shading. We can spawn in a monkey here, so we have a monkey. And our monkey right now is 2 meters in size. Let's make our monkey head 1 meter in size. So make our monkey head 1 meter in size. And what I'm going to do, so we can do some toon shading here on it, is first let's give it a subdivision surface. Make it a little bit, more roundish. So if we turn this off, you can see that it goes from being like really blocky to a little bit less blocky, and we can always like make it like super fine-tuned, but I think this right here is probably good enough. And then for shading it, I have a little button here that automatically converts it to toon shading. It's very helpful. So if I go over here to our material preview, we have just like plain white mesh now, and we can give it some color. So let's say, we want to make it, I don't know, make it kind of brownish, because it is going to be a monkey or so. I would give it like this kind of like khaki color. And we can copy and paste that to the shade, and then bring that down just a little bit here. And I do like to kind of adjust our hue a little bit, not a whole lot, but I do kind of like try to bring it towards the cyan or bluish here. And we will want to add a light into our scene. So right now we have this light way the hell up here. I'm going to move the light over to my usual position for it. I wish there was a way for me to just like set a default position for lighting. It's kind of annoying that there is not a like default option for it. So there we go. We have kind of like our little like toon shading going on. Next, what I'm gonna do is let's grab this here. I'm gonna keyframe this position here, this X position. So we're gonna keyframe that at 2, and let's make sure that we are at here. We want it to be 60 FPS, because I feel like 60 FPS just works best for me. And then we'll do 300. So 60. Or 300 divided by 60 is what? 5 seconds, I think that's 5 seconds. um should be what, 600 for 10 seconds, right? I think 600 for 10 seconds. So we'll go to our halfway point. Then we'll go to our halfway point and we'll grab this and we'll do a -2 on it. Add the keyframe to that, and then we'll go all the way back over here to 600. So frame 600, and then we'll put this at back at +2. I realized a screw up here. This needs to actually be, we put -22 on accident. It should just be -2, not -22. So we can see here, we're gonna have this nice little loop going, so we can check our lighting. It's really not the best of shading still, but we can shade it smooth. And now we are starting to get a little bit better of our shadows. I actually like to also come here to our settings, and I turn off soft shadows in what's it called, in Eevee, because I feel like the soft shadows, when you're trying to do toon shading, they just kind of get in the way. And we can also set this to 1024 by 1024. It's a pretty good like shadow size for it. At the most, you would do like 4096 by 4096. I just don't like doing that personally, because I feel like 1024 by 1024 is probably good enough. But yeah, I've been playing around with the toon shading quite a bit. I really like doing toon shading, and one thing, another fun thing we can do to enhance the toon shading is bring up, like, I don't know, bring our camera right here. So bring our camera right here. And what we can do is zoom in on here. And I'm going to pause our animation real quick. I'm going to go to add. We're going to add a grease pencil. I'm going to go to blank. And then we're going to click on grease pencil up here at the top. And you can go down here to our modifiers. There should be a modifier here, and it's going to be this line art modifier. Select the layer, select the material that you want for it, and it should allow us to select an object. Yep, we can select an object here. We can select Suzanne, and then you can you know, mess around with our edges. However, we need to take care of our edges. Thickness is a little bit much. Maybe bring the thickness down to about here. And yeah, so now we have some toon shading going on here. I'm not sure why the grease pencil isn't showing up from the start there. That is kind of weird. That the grease pencil thing is kind of missing from that. Why does it actually disappear now that I'm thinking about it? Because it should be starting from the start here, from the very beginning. Keyframes, mode, frames, selected. I guess under keyframes, opacity 50%, filter by all. Keyframes before one, after one. Frames before one, after one. Yeah, I don't know why it is like not showing up until later. That is weird. But anyways, like I said, you would basically set this up for your line art, and that it should be showing up from the beginning. I don't know why it's not. Yeah, why is it not showing up right now? But yeah, I've been playing around quite a bit with trying to do the toon shading and trying to make it look nice, and I think I've gotten it pretty well done, or pretty well like figured out for it. Again, I'm not sure why it doesn't show up until like frame 200. is very specifically actually shows up at frame 187. I'm not sure why it doesn't show up until then. Use mask, opacity. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't show up until frame 187, but yeah, I've been playing around with it. And so I think it'd be really cool. One thing to note though is here in Blender, if you do sometimes when you do like a toon shading, it can look a little bit weird if you move the camera around, and that's because it draws the lines relative to the camera here. So if I were to grab this camera, and if I were to switch into camera view, and then move the camera around, so if I like go over here to this side, for example, and then exit the camera view, you'll see here that the lines, they move with that camera. I'm not really sure why that is a thing, other than that's just how Blender handles it. Oh, our camera like flew way the hell over here somewhere. So yeah, that's just like, but we can use shaders in games and stuff to simulate that as well. If you want to simulate that in like a game. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and delete the line art. So just go ahead and delete that. So yeah, I was thinking, you know, recreating stuff from animes would be kind of fun. And real quick, I'm gonna hydrate, make sure that I am hydrating as much as I can tonight. Especially because we're gonna be having a lot of salt here in a bit. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not really sure what to make. Damn it. I spent so much time in Blender all night and this morning that I'm kind of like drawing a blank on what to actually model right now. Like nothing's like particularly popping to mind. I think, do I have anything on my desk that stands out to me that would be kind of cool to model on my desk? Not really sure if anything stands out here. Let's see. Got a shit ton of stuff on my desk is also another problem too. I got a ton of stuff on my desk right now. I need to clean up my desk at some point. I don't know when that point is, but at some point I do need to clean up my desk. Because yeah, I've just got way too much junk up here at the moment. And I have anime figures that are falling down that need to be put back up. Go ahead and stand back up. Yeah, I'm also kind of tired. Oh, you know what? Here we go. Here we go. Here's what we can do. Okay. I'm going to reset our camera position here. Or we'll bring the camera in. So we're gonna move our camera. I don't know, maybe put the camera like right here. Okay. Maybe not right there. I'm probably gonna manually move it around a bit. So this here should be like 90 degrees. Actually, should be more like 45 degrees. And then maybe like another 45 degrees here. Nope, that's the wrong value. I want that to be 0. But this here should be 45, maybe. Okay, maybe not 45 exact. I'll set this to 2, -2, 2. And maybe make this 60 degrees. 60 degrees on that, and then maybe bring this down to 1.5. So we're gonna set up a camera right here, probably. And maybe do a little bit more than that. Actually, no, this should be 45 degrees. But I want this to be up, like so. And I don't know, maybe 3, and then 2. No, that's gonna go up. 1.5. Negative 3. So this way, we'll have, quite a bit of a build volume here. And I'm actually going to raise this up a little bit more. So put it to, I don't know, 75 degrees. And drag it down to 1.25. This is going to be kind of like a, I don't know, like a build volume of sort. And I'm going to hit N real quick, and I'm going to go to our time-lapse tool, because I want to actually kind of time-lapse this. To something I've been, trying to get used to doing. I'm going to save this. Oh, and Blender just crashed. Why did Blender just crash on me, damn it? Let's open up Blender again. Try this once more. And now we have the default cube there. That actually will help. So we have our default cube. And I guess this position here is kind of good, but it's a little bit high for what I want. So I really want this to be a 45-degree angle. I want it to be quite isometric. And we'll go, I don't know, we'll go 4. We'll do -3 and then 3. And then make this like 2. And this should be like, what we said, 75 degrees? 75 degrees? This should actually be like 1.5 then. I'm going to do that is because I'm going to scale this down. I'm going to scale down our cube here. The cube is way too big. Right now, the cube is roughly 2 meters big, and I want it to be smaller. So I'm going to first save this in my props folder. So I'm going to go over here to props, and we're going to save this as, we're going to make a folder here. Ramune. And we're going to label this Ramune bottle.blend. Okay, so now if I hit N and I scroll down to my time-lapse plugin, I can now come over here. I'll set this to 30 seconds, and we're going to add a camera. So I'm going to add a camera to it, and then hit record. That will clear my undo history. We know that, so that's going to clear the undo history. But now it's going to take a time lapse from that perspective of what it is that we're doing. So one thing I'm probably going to do is actually bring this up a little bit, and I'm going to split this vertically. So I'll split it here, and I'm going to set this to a 3D viewport, and I'm just going to set it to that camera so we can see here exactly what that time lapse is going to show. And on this one here, we're going to set this over to be our shader editor. So we'll set it over here to the shader editor for now. And actually, let's split these. Let's set this one to the shader editor. And we'll flip this one over here to be our 3D viewport, showing what our time lapse is going to show. Just that way we can make sure that we're not getting like too much, what's the word? Too much like deviation, and or we can just kind of see like what it's going to be doing. And for this one, I'm actually going to set it to rendered view, and I like to tell it to I like to go here, and I like to set my world. I like to bring this down quite a bit. Okay, so we have that brought down there. And then what I'm going to do is I want to grab this light, and we're going to move the light over to my usual position to 2, -2, and then 2 again. That's going to give us a big ass bright light right here. And just a couple other things we need to do here. So I want to turn off extras, turn off bones, turn off basically everything. Basically get rid of all the overlay. I don't want to get rid of all the overlays entirely, but I want to get rid of like most of the overlay. So we'll get rid of some of that stuff there. Put that back into rendered view. And then what I want to do is I want to set this to use, I think it's under view. I think it's under the view tab. Under view, nope, not under view. I'm trying to remember where it's at. There's a little button up here. Viewport shading, that's what I was looking for. Apparently it's not gonna let me select it there, but if we go up here, we can turn on this thing called cavity. And that makes it a little bit easier to kind of see these edges, see what it is that we're working with. What we're gonna do now is tab into our edit mode. And we're gonna select these edges here, not faces, we wanna select the edges. And we're going to hit Control B. Bring these in, I don't know, like that much. And go here to our tools. I'm kind of blocking the way, unfortunately. I apologize that I'm blocking the view, but pretty much what I'm going to do is add a bunch of segments here. Maybe not that many segments, but we'll add some segments here to make it into a sphere. Actually, the better way of doing this is going to be to just create a whole new object altogether. So I'm going to go to Mesh, and we're going to add a cylinder here. Now, obviously, our cylinder is pretty big, so we want to bring this down in size. I think 0.5 for now, and then we will scale it down even further later. And 0.1 maybe. That's a little bit better. Still not quite what I want, but it's a little bit better. And we can bring this up to 0.3, so that way it's sitting nicely on this little floor area here. 32 segments is probably a little too much, but it'll be fine. We will work with it. So let's get started here on modeling this now. So I'm going to zoom in. And actually we are like a little bit above here, so maybe, I don't know, I guess putting it to 0.25 puts it directly on the axes. But we can go into our edit mode now. And first thing I want to do is I'm going to add a loop cut. I'm going to bring it all the way down here towards the bottom, not all the way out the bottom. My cursor decided to be a little stupid there. Sometimes Blender does weird things with my windows. I think it's just because I have an ultra-wide monitor. It's really lame at times. But we can slide this up and down. I don't know, maybe about there. I'm going to select this loop cut and we're going to scale it inwards just a little bit, so that way we can, you know, create this little bevel of a bottle. Now, what you would probably normally do if you're trying to like make this be for like a company render, you would probably want to also make the inside of this concave. I don't think we're gonna bother making it concave down here, but you would put like a concave thing down here. And let's see here. So I'm looking at mine right now, and probably about here, actually maybe a little bit taller up, probably about here is where we're going to want to put another cut. And oh, there's actually like a what's it called, kind of like a sphere thing going on right here. So we'll do it using booleans. We'll do this with boolean operations probably. So let's highlight up here, bring it down however we need, maybe about there. I'm going to add a new object, and we're going to add a sphere. So go to mesh, go to UV sphere. It's going to make this gigantic thing here. We're going to bring it all the way down. and put it as close to where we need to go as possible. Just keep bringing this radius down until it roughly matches, and then we can fine tune it here and there as we go around. That's probably good there, and we'll just bring it up to about there. And then what we'll end up doing is we'll merge these two together. So we'll end up doing a merge on these here in a moment. But what I'm going to do is, now we have this, we can add a modifier to it. And that's going to be a Boolean modifier. And then just select this cylinder here. And yeah, so we do need to maybe scale it up just a tiny bit extra in scale. Not a whole lot. I'm going to probably have to fine tune that through this little menu here. So again, you don't want to overdo it on the scale. Probably just, I don't know, make this an even 1 maybe. And then do 0, 0, 1. See if that works. If not, then when we go to apply this later, like I said, we'll be using, we'll just do a merge on these to merge them together. Right now, that's fine as it is. Okay, so now we need to add a rounded, we need to make a rounded rectangle, probably. Yeah, like a rounded rectangle. And we're also gonna have another sphere too. So we're actually gonna do hit Shift D, and then hit G, and then Z. We're gonna bring it up probably about here, but we're gonna make it smaller. So we're going to scale this one down in, I don't know, probably about there. And then we'll have to do a few more booleans on here, a couple more of these little spheres. We're going to make some little cutouts with it, and drag this up. Actually, thinking about this, there's an even easier way of doing this for what I want to do, actually. I think. See, there's a bunch of different ways of modeling stuff to get the same effect, and it's just a matter of figuring out which way is going to be the most like effective way. What I'm actually thinking is, let's add back in a cube. So start a cube again. Add a cube. I can make this 0.5 in size. Good. Okay. And we're going to add a modifier to it. We'll add what's called a subdivision surface modifier. Here we go. Set this to 2 or 3. We'll go with 2 for now. And now when we go into our edit mode, we'll see here we have this square here. We can actually now start to come here and add some cuts here. I think this is going to be the most effective way, because doing it this way is going to be kind of more like sculpting, more than like modeling, I would say. So you can kind of see here already, if I can get my cursor to line up how I want it to line up, we can bring this down. We're going to grab these edges here. We're going to bring these up. Not that high up, probably about here. We're going to add another loop cut here. Okay, so we have this loop cut now. Now what we need to do also is we want to add 2 cuts here. Try to keep them center. Now I don't want those cuts to go all the way around, so to prevent those from going all the way around, I'm actually just going to select all of these extra loops that were created by that. So to select these extra loops here, I'm going to delete all these, and we're just going to hit delete, and then you can go to dissolve edges, and that's going to dissolve those. And then what we can do now is we can select these ones, bring it in a little bit like that. And actually, we probably should just select all of this, because what we want to do is I want to grab this face here. I want to extrude it out. like so. That's going to be extruded. See, I don't like the way that it is doing this thing here, where it is kind of like bulging out a little bit extra. So try to make it shaped as best we can to fit our needs. We'll probably end up reshaping this as we go along, because I don't really want it to be doing what it's doing right there. And actually, let's actually dissolve these edges here. Go ahead and delete these edges. There we go. And delete these ones. So I'm going to delete these ones too. Okay. And then we'll need to add some cuts up here. So we'll add a loop cut. If it'll show up. I said I want to add a loop cut right there. And you only want this to kind of like bulge out on the one side, on these sides here. No, I don't want to extrude those that way. I don't want to extrude out like that. I want to create this little like bulbous effect here. So basically what we want is we want to have this little bulge, and then we want another one a little bit higher up. That's what I'm trying to do at the moment, and actually I think what we need for that is going to be doing another like bisection in this direction, and also bring this down lower about here. Okay, can we actually mirror this? See here. Yep, we can mirror that. There we go. But it needs to have like a vertex here in the middle for it to work. So what I might end up doing is I'm probably going to grab our vertices here. I'm going to grab our knife tool, select the middle as best we can, and then go up here again to the middle as well. And we'll do that on this side also. So we will select the middle, and then with that, we can grab both of these and bring them down. Maybe not that much, but bring them down like that. That's going to create like a little pinch there. And then obviously up here, we want to actually scale these inwards. So it's going to scale in. And then we need to make a spout up here. So we're going to add like a cylinder shape up here at the top. I think what I'm going to do real quick for that is I'm going to go back to our object mode. Let's add two. We'll add two spheres. So we're going to add a UV sphere. And we're going to bring it on the y-axis out this direction. And then on the z-axis all the way up that spot. Bring it back in on the y-axis. We're going to have to move it then on the x. So about here maybe. And we want to add a Boolean modifier now. So we're going to add a new modifier called a Boolean. And we're going to select this sphere here. And if you hide it, you'll see here it's going to create this little inset here. We want that to be on both ends. So it's going to be on both sides. So in order to do that, as simple as just selecting our sphere here, we're going to add, I think, not a mirror modifier, but a a array modifier. I think you might be able to do it with the mirror, maybe if you put it on certain axes. You could, but yeah, I think ultimately it's actually this array modifier that we want here. And this is going to move squarely on the y-axis. So get rid of the x, and we're going to move it on the y to about 1.3. We might need to scale this in just a little bit more, so we can scale this down, I don't know, probably about there. And when you scale down, you'll notice that that does actually affect this modifier here. So you're going to have to kind of play around with it until you get it to where you want it. I don't know, maybe about there, and then just go ahead and hide that. Now, it's a lot more pronounced than I want it to be. So we will have to, you know, do some, like, probably some simple formation or something. So that way we can correct that. Because, yeah, that is way more pronounced than it should be. Like, super more pronounced than it really should be. So maybe what we want to do actually is maybe separate these out a little bit more. Go to maybe a value of 2. And we'll have to kind of like play around with it, see what we can do with it. I was also going to end up with some weird like edges as well because of the way we're doing this. What we could do is just make this even more smooth. I just want to try to like avoid doing anything of the sort, but it's whatever. So now, let's see here. Do I have loop tools enabled? I think I have loop tools enabled. I'm going to just double check, see if I have loop tools. And if we do have loop tools, then we will use a loop for what I want to do next. Otherwise, we'll end up using a whole extra like cylinder. We do have loop tools, cool. So we can come here, we can hit circle. That's gonna give us a circular base here. And we can go from fit inside or best fit. I think best fit's probably gonna work fine. We can also adjust our angle if we need to adjust the angle of it. Hydrate, yes, I will make sure I hydrate. I have some water right here next to me. We can also adjust the radius here. So I don't know, probably about there is going to be fine. Or just put it on best fit. Okay. And then with that selected, we can extrude that out. And we'll start adding here what we need to add for making it into like an actual like drinking spout. Also though, this modifier here is not showing up in edit mode. There we go. I'm gonna bring it down, way down here. Okay. Yep, I will hydrate. And actually, since I need to get a good reference of this, I'm gonna open up one of these bottles real quick. Because I do want to get a pretty decent looking reference here. So let's see. Let's add a loop cut here, and we're going to drag this out like that. And then we're going to grab all of these faces here. Nope, I don't want to go inwards. I want to wrap around here. Gonna do Alt and E, and then extrude along face normals. And just out a tiny little bit. You can see here that's gonna give us kind of like a little like cap effect. I do think we need to probably drag this down a little bit. So, okay, we need to make sure though that we are selecting everything that needs to go along with that. So just go ahead and select all around that. I think everything is selected now. Again, let's make sure we have our full selection. And then we can bring it down however we need. Okay. What I kind of want to do is I'm going to grab these two and scale them in on the x-axis. So we'll go ahead and start doing some scalings to bring these in just a little bit. Okay. And then up here at the top, we'll probably end up doing is we'll do hit I to do a inset on here. So after we have this inset, we can then extrude up. And then that gives us the first part of our cap here, because we are going to need to do a second part of the cap as well. So we have the first part of the cap. There's going to be a blue plastic piece that kind of goes around this, and then also we need to cut a hole directly in the center. So for that hole there, what I want to do is I'm going to select this top part, and we're going to do another inset. Bring this inset in, if it'll let me. That's not letting me bring it in. This might have to zoom out a little bit. Bring the inset in quite a bit, maybe about there. Extrude it downwards, like so. And then we're going to select the face down here. And we're just going to delete that face. So we're going to delete this. It's going to make it a blank, empty hole in there. And what we can do to kind of like aid in that now is we can do like a solidify mesh, and that'll solidify that. But I think that's fine currently as it is, maybe. Actually, that probably should go higher up looking at it. So let's. Oh no, that's right. That's about right. I think that should be fine. Actually, it's not fine, because, you know what? Let's grab this edge loop, and we're going to bring this edge loop all the way up about here. Yeah, about there. And then we can do a solidify mesh on the whole thing, and that's going to make it more of like an actual bottle now. So if we then, first off, maybe do that there. I don't know, we'll figure that out. Okay, I don't want this to be x-rayed. I want it to be like so. Okay, so yeah, I think what we're gonna need to do probably is do the boolean after that, and then we'll do our solidify. And like I said, the solidify will make it to where it's gonna be more of an actual like bottle. Let's go ahead and apply a material to this real quick. So I'm going to just apply a quick material. So we have here material 1. Actually, it should be this material here, probably. Yeah, so this is our material here. I'm going to make it kind of like a cyanish color. We're going to drag this roughness all the way down to make it really shiny. We need to adjust our alpha settings on it. So, I don't know, maybe like 0.5 for now would be good. It's currently not going to make it transparent unless we come down here and we go to blend mode. Go ahead and do blend mode, blend. And it should, I know, have back faces in there. Kind of hard to see it right here. If we go over here, yeah, we don't want to do that. That's not what we want to do. So, shadow mode, none currently. And we'll turn off the back faces for the time being. Also need to make it a lot skinnier, I think. We're gonna need to make this probably quite a bit skinnier. And it's actually gonna be right here that we want to adjust the alpha settings, probably. Make this 100% transparent, or not transparent, but opaque. And maybe what we need to do is, let's see here. We should probably add like material behind it so that we can actually see what's going on with our transparency, make sure our transparency is working. So I'm just going to add a simple plane behind it. And we'll select our plane, scale it up, I don't know, probably about there is fine. Rotate it on z-axis. Just a little bit too transparent, as you can clearly see. It's a little bit too transparent now. We are going to put some like liquids in here too, probably. But for now, we want to make sure that it's going to display properly. Okay. Whoa, that shadow there looks pretty terrible. Okay, so we have a shadow now. Okay, why is it not letting me go into edit mode? Why is it doing the editing down there when it should be doing the editing up here? Yeah, why is the edit mode down there now? No, this should be object mode. And this should be edit mode. Why is it putting our edit mode down here? Oh, okay. That was just weird. I don't know why it was doing that. Yeah, I don't know why it was doing that. That was just weird. Okay, so we're starting to get our bottle. We need to, you know, make it a little bit better in terms of our material here. Actually, probably gonna drag this down about here. And we do need to fix that that marble, or not marble, but this sphere here needs to be fixed. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to grab that and we're going to bring it in a little bit closer. Maybe like 1.6 is good, maybe. And then make sure that we are positioning it where it needs to be positioned. Now see, what it's doing though is it's not showing us the other side of the bottle, which is what we want. So I need to go over here to materials. It should have back faces enabled. There we go. So right with back faces enabled, you can see through the bottle, and you can see here the other side of the bottle over here. Now it's not as smooth rendered as I would prefer, but that's fine. If we tell it to render smooth, it'll look a lot better. you can now see through there that we are clearly, you know, starting to like look at a bottle now. These here though, those need to be smoothed out a little bit better. One thing we can maybe do for those is go ahead and click on our sphere over here. Set our sphere to shade smooth as well. And then hide that. That looks a little bit better, but we still get a bunch of weirdness going on up here. So for that, we might just have to play around a bit with some of our settings here for our modifiers. Yeah, we'll probably just have to kind of play around with our modifiers a little bit to see which way ends up looking best. Because that doesn't really work right there, clearly. I think the bowling does have to go last, maybe? Well, that creates like a whole hole in it now. We don't want that hole there. Yeah, because we don't want a hole. So this has to go underneath the bowling then. I don't know, I'm gonna have to play around with it and figure it out, because yeah, we don't want it to have like this weird looking stuff right here. And you know what? I'm thinking part of that probably is just the way that we have this cut out. So maybe doing a couple extra cuts here, maybe an extra loop around here might help. Might help to kind of smooth that out a little bit. I don't think we'll be able to like fully smooth it out this way, but I was thinking it may or may not help to do so. And we can also try, you know, try rotating these, seeing if rotating these helps at all. I'm doubtful, but I don't know, I'm always willing to try something to see if we can get it working. I don't know, I'll have to figure it out. But we're starting to get the shape, at least. Starting to get the shape here that we want. Okay, we do need, though, we need to come up here. We're gonna select, we're gonna do a invert or an X-ray selection. So it should be putting it into X-ray mode, and I don't know why it's not putting it into X-ray mode. There we go. Finally. I want to select everything here. And we're going to duplicate it. So we're going to do a Shift D. Actually, not Shift D. Want all that selected, and yeah, should be mesh and then duplicate. Yeah, so we're going to duplicate it, put it into place, and then we're going to scale it up. Scale it up a little bit. We're going to then separate it to its own mesh. We're going to hit separate, and then by selection. So if we come over here now, we're going to have our own extra little cube. We can now take this cube, we're going to set this one to the other material here. Make this one like a blue color, just like a solid blue. Because this should be like a bluish color. Drag it up a little bit like so. That way it sits right on top there. We can make it a little bit transparent, not a whole lot transparent. But you know, just a little bit of transparency here. And we do want to show those back faces. I don't know, probably about there. This one though, we can do back face cooling on. Actually, no, we don't want back face cooling on it. We wanted to show those. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what we want. Maybe a little bit more transparent. And then a little bit darker, maybe. We can go a little bit darker on that. Cool. And then there's a marble that sits up here at the top. So yeah, we have a little marble sits up here at the top. It's kind of like a compression fit for it. But we can just simply do a sphere. We're going to add a sphere to it. Go to mesh, go to sphere, UV sphere. You don't want anything gigantic, so just try to bring the size down. Probably 0.5 is going to be what you want. Bring it all the way up and into there. Cool, so we have that now. We do want to give it a new material of its own. And just make sure that it is assigned that new material. And you want to probably just leave it as close to like white as you can. You are going to make it transparent here as well in a second. So just make sure to though you set the shade smooth. And then you want to go to blend mode, blend. We're going to set the roughness down to 0. Yeah, I want the roughness at 0. And then you can set it to be metallic. Now, obviously, it doesn't need to be like this metallic. This might be a little much for that. But we're going to bring it down. I don't know, probably to 0.2. 0.2 looks good. And you can still see that sphere in there. Technically, there would be like more material in here, so you wouldn't actually like see it all that well. But yeah, so now we have our little sphere up there. It's not the best looking lemonade bottle, but it's better than nothing. And actually, I just realized that we had this wrongly placed. There we go. But again, it's not the best of looking bottle. It's just I had no clue what to actually model tonight. So because I didn't have any actual solid plan right now, this is probably the best we're gonna get for tonight. Because I had no plan going into this. Actually, we want this to be on edge selection, and then bring that down. Oh. And actually, let's delete that edge loop. Let's delete that edge loop there. There we go. Okay, what we can do is we can maybe add some textures to this in a bit as well. But I think, I don't know, this is probably fine for a little bottle of lemonade. We might want to, you know, add some, like an outline to it, so that way we just know better that it is, like, shaded. But it is still going to bug me that, up here, we are getting some, like, artifacting going on right there. And also, I'm thinking up here, this probably needs to be just scaled in a tiny bit more. And maybe brought down. No, actually it's fine where it was, height-wise. It's just that scaling is probably the main issue that I had. Okay, I don't know, it's not looking that bad. And it could look better, obviously it could look better. But it's not looking that bad for a simple little lemonade bottle here. And if we wanted to, actually, we could do this. I want to grab this thing here. I'm going to also grab this here. um, let's go to modifiers again, real quick, and let's just do something stupid. I'm gonna go to fluid down here. It's gonna tell us now to go to our physics tab. So here's our physics tab, and we're gonna set this to be domain. Or actually what it needs to be is effector and then collision. And what we'll do is we'll do a shift D on it. And with the shift D, we'll set this one now to be the domain. That'll be liquid. And then what we can do is come up here. We're going to set this thing here to fluid, pellet flow, pellet liquid, behavior inflow. And is it going to fill up is the real question. Is it going to work or not? I might need to actually duplicate this sphere and do it differently with the duplication of that sphere. Because we want it to be, you know, have actual, like, I don't know, actual liquid in there. Flow source is mesh. Surface emission should be fine. Yeah, that is all looking good. Yeah, maybe what I'll do is I'll do this. I'm going to shift D, hit S, bring it in even smaller, and then bring it down into this domain area a bit better. The first one here, we'll go ahead and get rid of the fluid and just have only the second one have this fluid here. And then we can set a new material on this. So we'll go ahead and create a new material. So disconnect this one, hit new. I don't know, we'll make it like a dark color. Okay. And it should be flowing the liquid in there. I don't know why it's not flowing it in there. You know what? Here, let's do this. I'm going to find this duplicate here. This one was what? This one was our domain. Let's go ahead and delete the domain. Okay, so what's this first one? This first one here is set to collision. Yeah, set to collision. Let's go ahead and make a cube. Okay, and then we're gonna get this cube, the fluid property, set that now to domain. And then set this type to liquid. And we want to come over here and we want to set this to mesh. There you go, yeah, it should be mesh for that. And we can, if all is done right, which doesn't seem to be done correctly now. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing incorrectly that I did before and it all worked fine? Liquid. Domain type liquid. I don't know, maybe this does need to be one, right? Why can I not select stuff? Hey, no, yeah, no, that's fine. Why is it not working? Huh. I just wanted to fill this up with liquid, damn it. um, I don't know, sometimes shit be weird. Because it should be working for it. Because then we have our sphere over here, whichever sphere it is, this one here. This one, like I said, is set to inflow. It's set to mesh, that's what we want. That's like a geometry, but it should be inflow for the liquid. And then mesh, and then use flow. So all those steps are fine. Those are all the steps that it should be. I just don't know why it's not making it work when it should be. Because if done right, then it'll turn like completely transparent. And maybe just need this to make that a whatchamacallit thing there. There shouldn't be any collision with this one, so it should only be this one here that has the collision thing. Yeah, it should be set to collision. So again, I don't know what the issue is with it. Let's see here. Let me come over here. I'm gonna add another window here real quick. It's going to be the timeline editor. So I'm gonna go to timeline. And that could probably be it too. But see, it should be filling in that bottle that we made. It should be filling that bottle in with the liquid. I just don't know why it's not filling that bottle in with it. Because as long as it is enclosed, it should be working just fine. I don't know. Let's try this. Get rid of that on that cube. Select this one, and maybe we'll set this one then to domain, set to liquid, set it to mesh. You do want to make sure that you select mesh down here. Mesh generator final, we actually do previews, probably a little bit faster. To use preview. And yeah, I don't know why it's not filling it up in there like it should. Because you would do Shift D, and then you would set this to be an effector with collision. Well, it definitely made my frame rate a lot slower. That's for sure. It made the frame rate like super slow. So I think it is doing something. It's just not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Which is, like I said, it's supposed to be filling in this whole bottle here. I remember how I did it the other day. I spent like a good while playing around with these to get this proper. I spent like a good while messing with it. But doing any sort of like simulation in Blender, it's just weird. Blender, it wasn't like designed for simulations for one. It's not meant for them. So it wasn't quite designed to be used for sims compared to other better tools out there. But it's just weird that it's not working because it's caged in like it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be caged in. And if done right, it should be filling it up with particles. yeah, so we have a domain, we have flow, we have an effector. So here's our domain. Our domain is set to mesh, like so, which is what it should be set to. And then our extra one here is set to collision. So that should be causing collisions in there, which would tell it to, only fill up like that area. Yeah, it's so weird that it's not actually working the way it's supposed to, because it normally works just fine. But anyways, even if we can't get it to create Coca-Cola, which I was trying to do, even if we can't get it to do it, there is still like other stuff we can do here to make it work a little bit better or make it look a little bit better. We can get to texturing. I don't know. I just was just kind of going with the flow tonight. Didn't really have anything. Really planned. So this is all just kind of done on the spot. There was no plan tonight, really. It's just been a night of doing whatever works, essentially. Yeah, why is it not working? Huh. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get why it's not working, but we'll move on to something else. But I'll probably do much better lemonade bottle later. But like I said, there wasn't exactly a plan in mind. Just kind of started doing stuff to do stuff here. Oh wait, you know what? Hold up. Why is the oh, hold on. This one, right? Fluid, domain, liquid, mesh, final, concavity, upper, lower. Does it need to be bigger? Is that what it is? I don't remember. Because it should be that the moment that you click on mesh, it should make this invisible. And the fact that it's not making it invisible is why it's like bugging me, because it should make it invisible at the moment you click on mesh. So it's kind of bugging me that it's not doing that when it should. Yeah, I mean that's all set properly. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's doing something because it is making my frame rate like super low. It's just not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Right. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not understanding this. Hey Dana. Hi, how's it going? I am trying to fill a ramen bottle that we modeled pretty shittily with Coca-Cola, and it's not quite working, but it's whatever. It's good enough. Um, but yeah, we were kind of bored, and so we just made a ramen bottle, and I happen to have a bunch in front of me. In fact, actually now is probably a good time to actually do that tier list that I was wanting to do, that everyone kept telling me I should do live. So just got back from working out and having your post workout meal. Nice. We should probably have our post, or I guess not post but workout meal. Sort of our mental workout meal. So what we have before us, and did this just break off of that? No, it didn't. Give me a second. I did not see the new pixel icons yet. I don't think so. We got a small little tripod out. So I got an itty bitty little tripod that we're going to set up here real quick. Okay, so we have itty bitty tripod. I'm going to slap the extra camera onto it. And I don't know, put it probably around here somewhere. That might be good. Let's go ahead and we'll turn on our camera. We'll take a break from 3D modeling and we'll do some live mukbang, I guess. Let's bring this over in a spot where we can actually see everything here on the desk. So I'm gonna move some trash out of the way here real quick. Okay, so yeah, let's transition to, like, I guess a little bit of a live mukbang here. We have a tier list that we've been wanting to do, so we're gonna do our little tier list now. All these are snacks that we got from a place called Tokyo Central. Really cool store, really good store. And what we're just gonna do is we're just gonna turn on our camera now. So we have here, like I was saying, we have new ramen. This is blackberry flavor ramen. Is Jujutsu Kaisen themed. I think I've only had like this once. It was okay. Make sure our camera is like gonna fall over off the desk here. So and then also to compare it, we have this lemon Satoshi lemon flavor ramen as well. Now let's pop this open and hope it doesn't get all over the place. That is a problem with ramen. Ramen tends to explode everywhere. So smack a little marble into it. I'm not going to try to do any sort of physics here with this marble. It was hard enough just getting the marble to look decent, look like a glass marble in there. So, yeah, it was already pain in the ass enough. Why can I not click on the camera thing, damn it? Yeah, so yeah, it was kind of hard enough to get this marble looking good, so I'm not going to do any sort of physics to smack this marble in. If you really wanted to, you could, just drop the marble into down here, and yeah, the marble would come down in here. Why did it go invisible? Where did our marble disappear to, damn it? But you'd have your little marble kind of sit right in there, and just kind of roll around back and forth in this little chamber here. I think the chamber is probably a little bit too wide for it, maybe, because I think this will actually, yeah, this will actually, if you were to add physics, it would still slip right in between here. This is not pinched enough for it, so maybe we need to actually go through and fix that. Make sure that it is pinched enough, and then bring that up, probably like so. And now that should be pinched enough to where that marble won't actually be able to get out of there. I feel like, though, it should actually be a little bit higher up, probably. I don't know, probably like about there. Looks a little bit better for that. Yeah. So, and actually, let's shrink this whole thing down just a smidge. Yeah. And then I think this probably, you thought it was going to be taking me? What do you mean? Oh, now we need to resize this whole top part. We made this too skinny now. Yeah, take on me? Oh, no. I mean, it kind of sounds like it, but it's not. It's not take on me. Okay, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit, and then what we're gonna need to do as well. Yeah, the opening of the song does sound kind of like it, but it's not. It's a little bit different. Let's make sure we have our origin here set to center mass, and then we can bring that down. There we go. That looks, I don't know, it still looks off to me. I feel like that's still off. Yeah, because what it is actually is these should be lower, like about here. And then that should be lower as well, and then scaled in. And then this would go down like that. I think that actually looks a little bit closer now that I'm looking at it. Comparing it to here, that does look a little bit closer. You guys can't really see it that well. There it is. And then that little marble, I think, is in a little bit of a better spot now that we've done that. The problem is we have now lost our spheres here. So these might want to shrink down, bring them in, and we're gonna have to reposition them. However, so, try to make them invisible again. A little bit further in. Okay. And then you can hide those again. There we go. That actually looks probably a little bit better. For it. Put it right there on the side. Yeah, so your marble, it sits in this little tiny chamber here. Otherwise, your marble is going to go way up here into that little spot. But yeah, I don't plan on doing any sort of like physics stuff, because again, it was already kind of hard enough just putting the marble in there anyways. And then getting the shape of the bottle is a pain. The Ariel one, like I said, I've already mentioned it like 4 or 5 times. This one is blackberry flavor. And then this one here is Satoshi lemon ramen. So it's not quite a lemonade. It's more supposed to be like an actual lemon flavor, not really lemonade. I don't know. There are 2 flavors we're gonna try. We'll try this one first and see how it is. Yeah. And it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. It would be even better if I can get the liquid sim to work properly, but our liquid sim doesn't want to render for whatever reason. It's bugging the shit out of me that the liquid simulation is not working. I don't know why it doesn't want to work. It just doesn't want to work, which is really dumb because it should be working, but it's not. Yeah, because I've mentioned it like 4 or 5 times. It is Jujutsu Kaisen themed. So it actually has Jujutsu Kaisen right here, and it has, I don't know, whatever character this is. I've actually never seen the anime. I don't know anything about Jujutsu Kaisen, but it is a Jujutsu Kaisen themed bottle. Even has Crunchyroll listed back here on the back right here for Crunchyroll. Interestingly, this is actually one of the few bottles I've had that has full English labeling. Most of the time, when you buy Ramune, you won't get an English label, you'll get a Japanese label, and then you'll have like an extra sticker with English on it. That kind of helps. But majority of the bottles I've bought have had Japanese stickering. So it's kind of interesting to me that the Jujutsu Kaisen bottle has full English stickering on here. Can't really see it very well because it doesn't want to focus. This camera is like utter crap and it's struggling to autofocus. But yeah, this has full English stuttering. If it'll focus at all. I don't think it will. This camera is kind of crappy. But yeah, it's really interesting that it is an English label, and the whole thing even says here how to drink, and the whole thing is English, like how to drink in English and whatnot. It's not what I would normally expect when it comes to Ramune. So I just thought that was kind of like an interesting little thing with this bottle. I just noticed it as I was like trying to show off the Jujutsu Kaisen thing. I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's okay. It would not be a go-to flavor by any means. It would not be a go-to flavor for me. Yeah, definitely wouldn't be like a go-to in my opinion. And it's supposed to be set to liquid, damn it. Actually just caught up with it. Oh, nice. Yeah, I still, like I said, I've not once, I haven't once looked it up or watched it or anything of the sort. Maybe one day, but for now, I just have had like no interest in doing so. Yeah. Okay, but the main reason why we're here is because I posted on Twitter. I posted a photo a while back on Twitter showing all of these here, and I was like, we should do a canned chip tier list. And like I said originally at the start, I was just going to just eat them and then give a approximation of how they tasted to me. But I asked on Twitter, should we do it live? And I think like 4 or 5 of you voted that it should be done live. So I guess we'll do it live. So we have our control here, which is Pringles. Pringles is the control. And then we have Jonets, and then we have Calbee, and then we have Chipstar potato chips. All of these are the exact same flavor. They are all original, quote-unquote original flavor. Lightly salted for some of these, but the reason why I decided to go for this flavor instead of any other flavors because I am lactose intolerant, and none of these, because they're the original flavor, they are all dairy free. Whereas if you were to get like sour cream and onion or cheddar or something like that, then it would contain dairy, and that's just doesn't sit well with my stomach. You hate the modern Pringles cans. They're not that bad. There is one can that I did eat ahead of time before stream, so I do apologize for that. Um, that other can was crap. The other can was Lay's Stacks, and it just sucked. Oh, the minimalism for it, yeah. I mean, it doesn't have the personality. It doesn't have the personality that the old logo had. So let's go ahead. We'll open this up. And wow, I am impressed here. So there's no like broken chips. What is this? I mean, there might be like a couple broken ones at the bottom, but what is this? This is like insane. Normally when I open these up, I expect them to be shattered everywhere. So I am honestly kind of impressed that this is not like super shattered. I need to buy more of these from Japanese stores. Maybe it's just that Japanese stores, they put like more care and attention to it. I don't know, but that is honestly really impressive to me that it was all evenly stacked and none of them were like shattered. So we'll go ahead and use this one as a control. Right? Unshattered Pringles, like how? So it's what you'd expect. They taste like Pringles, original flavor. Not really all that flavorful, obviously. Since we're using it as a control, I'm gonna put it in a C tier for now. Maybe we should actually open up a tier list thing here. Where's Opera? We should do this. Tier maker. And we'll make a template here. And we'll go canned chips. No, I don't want to have one that exists. I want to make my own. Canned chips. Select the category. I don't fucking know what category it belongs to. Fuck. Food? Is there like a food category? I don't even... Okay, food and drink. I'm not gonna bother adding any of these. So I have S, A, B, C, and D. Okay. And do I have to add icons? Oh, I guess I do have to add icons. Okay. Close this pop-up. I don't want to add icons to this, so actually here, we'll do it a different way. We'll pull up my favorite modeling tool. Not modeling tool, texturing tool. Here. Oh yeah, I was talking last night when we were on Fansly. I was talking about how the area I worked in was super ghetto. So for those of you who are new around here and don't know, I used to work in a very dangerous environment. I used to work as a gun dealer. And I lived in one of the most ghetto as fuck areas. And basically my area is what would make the game Grand Theft Auto Online. It's what they would want, essentially. So we had like a gun store, a smoke shop, a sex shop, and a payday loans all in the same building. Behind us we had a locksmith. We had across the street, we had a weed shop, a weed dispensary, followed by a liquor store. And then, you know, we had our gas stations around here. We have unlicensed car shop, number one. There's like a million fucking unlicensed car shops on this particular street. We have a mall that I don't know how the mall is even still in service, but we have a mall here. We have raves and a speedway at the same spot. So this was actually like a combined speedway and like a dome where you would have like raves and swap meets and stuff in here. And then more unlicensed car shops. Like unlicensed car shops would span for like a good like couple miles. And then if you go like 2 streets up, we had a street right here. That was where you would go if you want to get laid, essentially. But you just got to make sure that you are being careful because while you would probably be able to find like a whore within like 30 seconds of walking down the street, you're probably gonna get something. So yeah, for those of you who are new here, that was my previous job before my current job, and how ghetto as fuck the area was. We were just talking about it on Fansly last night, and I think a little bit on Twitch as well this morning. But anyways, we're gonna come here. We're gonna make this here, and we're just going to drag this thing out. So I'll put this as S, A, B, C, D, and then we'll do an F. Actually, we only have like 4 categories anyway, so we don't even need that many. But it's whatever. Delete row. So actually, we'll do is we're gonna delete this row too, and we'll have A, B, C, D. Okay, so we have 4 categories here. Bring it like that. And then we're gonna put Pringles here first. So Pringles are gonna go C because they're gonna be our control, okay? So we have Pringles, and then we'll figure out our other chips here. So let's bring this up here so we can actually see. Yeah, that was from the COVID / pre-COVID era. That was when I worked at the gun store, before I ended up starting doing all this 3D stuff and VFX and other cool fun stuff. Okay, so Pringles we're putting at C for now. Now this next one is I believe the brand is Donuts. I'm not really entirely sure. But these are, I believe, lightly salted. So we're going to give these ones a try. We'll see if these ones stand up to the other one in terms of are they shattered or not shattered. And wow, look at this again. This is now 2 in a row. Once more, we have an even stack with no like shattering, no obvious shattering in there. I'm gonna have to start buying these from these Japanese markets a lot more often, because anytime I buy Pringles from like Target or Walmart or any of like the local grocery store, without fail, even the tiny little ones, those tiny like little like snack pack ones, they're always shattered. So I am honestly impressed that this is now 2 cans out of 4 that haven't had any shattering at all for the cans, for the chips. Now let's try these ones. We'll see what these ones are. I'd say they're about the same. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we were taking a slight break here to have a snack break, but we were modeling a bottle of Ramune based on this bottle here. But I couldn't get any physics sims to work with it, so I'm gonna have to figure that out later. But yeah, we're taking a quick snack break right now to test some chips that I bought. These ones, honestly, they're kind of eh. I feel like the Pringles were a little bit better, in all honesty. So I'm gonna put these ones in D tier for now. So these ones are going in D tier. But I am impressed that, again, there was no shattering inside the can. So next we have the Colby. Oh, now this is interesting. These ones, you can tell this is definitely a Japanese thing. These ones come in a bag inside of a can. So you don't just get a can, you get a can that has a bag inside of it. And I'm wondering if that helps like keep them fresh. I mean, I assume that does help to keep them fresh. It's the first time I've actually seen one of these where they come in a bag. It is a race of a plastic, and you know what? It's very much a Japanese problem. One of the things I don't like about buying Japanese snacks, because I buy Japanese snacks all the time. Japanese snacks are some of my favorite snacks that I can never find and buy. Japanese snacks have a problem of making every single thing individually wrapped. I don't know why they do it, but it bugs me every time, because every time I go and I buy like a big bag of like Japanese gummies or something, you end up with like a big old bag, and when you open that bag up, every single little tiny gummy candy is individually wrapped in its own little bag. And I absolutely hate it because it is such a waste. It ends up just filling my trash can. It's such a huge waste of like material and packaging, and they could just be giving me more gummy candies instead of giving me extra plastic. But I am curious if this does affect the flavor at all. So let's go ahead and we'll open it up. And let's see. So right away, I noticed that these are a little bit lighter in color, but they're also smaller. These are a lot smaller, actually. You can see the size difference here. So this one's a Pringle. This one is the Calbee chip. So it's a lot smaller in size, but I do think it is a little bit lighter in color. But it is a lot smaller in size. That is a little bit interesting. We'll see how it tastes though. Hopefully that bag does actually like preserve the flavor. Oh crap. Okay. These actually taste really good. Yeah. I think that bag actually helped a lot. I'm gonna put these currently in the B tier, but I think they are possibly A tier. So I'm gonna put those in the B tier for now, possibly A tier, depending on how these Chipstar ones taste. But so far, even though these are smaller, they taste the best. They actually have flavor to them, which is really interesting in terms of like the flavor profile. Like these just taste like a potato chip or like a fry. These tasted like cardboard. They had no flavor at all. It was like eating edible paper. I don't know if you've ever eaten edible paper. It was probably just like a thing back in like, I don't know, the 90s and early 2000s. I remember like being a little kid and buying like a Spy Gear like pack, and it came with like invisible ink and other stuff, and one of the things it had in it was edible paper, and it's very flavorless. It doesn't taste like anything. I mean, all paper is edible for hard enough. True, but it was like specifically called edible paper. I don't know what it's like actually made out of, but these reminded me of the edible paper. These reminded me of just like eating some fries, eating some regular potato chips. These actually feel are like seasoned. They're not seasoned, but they taste like there's some seasoning to them at least. It tastes a lot better. It tastes like I would say like an actual potato, like just straight up a potato. So it's pretty good. I like this one so far. Last one is the Chipstar. So let's try this one out. Now this one has the same thing. Look at this. They give you a can. But then when you open up the can, you get a bag. And again, it's just a uniquely Japanese problem where Japanese companies, they over package, I would say. They just have a fascination with making everything individually wrapped, and I hate it. But we'll see again if adding this bag helps with keeping the flavor and keeping the freshness of it. But so far, C, D, B, and we'll see if this is A or B as well. I'm just going to pop it open here real quick. I'm a little bit weak, so just give me a moment to open this. There we go. So, I want to see here. Are these... Oh, sorry. The same size? I think these are both the same size. Yeah, it's so annoying how overpackaged everything is. Yeah, so these are both the same size. They're both smaller chips. Drop that back in there. Okay. So these taste better than the Pringles, but they don't taste as good as these ones did. Yeah. Actually, if I had to compare these ones remind me. I guess if I had to take these two and compare these two to something, these ones remind me of In-N-Out fries. These ones remind me of McDonald's fries. Now, McDonald's fries are better than In-N-Out fries, but they are still like top tier. It's just that I like McDonald's fries more than I like In-N-Out fries. But I would take these over the Pringles or the other stuff any day. So I'm actually gonna move. We're gonna move Calbee up here. I'll move Calbee up there, and then I'll put Chip Star here in the B range. But that is that's our tier list now. I would say In-N-Out fries are better. No. See, I disagree. I feel like McDonald's fries are the best fries you can buy from any like fast food restaurant. Objective fact: In-N-Out fries are like bare bones. This is a fry. Yeah, like In-N-Out fries are good, but they're not as good as a McDonald's fry. McDonald's has the variety, the texture. Sometimes like a little bit of a crunch to them. It's really good. Yeah, exactly. You get both. Yeah. Now we're not getting into the realm of like curly fries. Like if you go to curly fries or crisp cut fries, that's a completely different ballpark. But if we're just only going based on like just a regular generic fry, I would say McDonald's fries are better than the In-N-Out fries. But In-N-Out fries are better than, say, Del Taco fries. Del Taco fries are crap. So, I guess these would be like the Del Taco fries. Or maybe these would be Del Taco fries. These would be McDonald's. These would be In-N-Out. I actually don't think I've had like Burger King fries in forever because I don't usually eat Burger King. It's like a very rare thing for me. Nobody's ranking Del Taco fries. Yeah, basically. I mean, Del Taco fries are just hands down the worst. I'm just gonna say it. Del Taco fries, they should stick to the. I was gonna say they should stick to their burritos, but even their burritos are like cardboard. I would only eat Del Taco if I was homeless again, basically. Del Taco fries, Del Taco burritos, they're super cheap. You can get like 2 burritos for $1, which is great. But if you can afford to spend $2 to $3 instead of $1, I would just go to Taco Bell and get a better burrito for like an extra $1 or $2. Del Taco just sucks. But yeah, that's my verdict on these. The Pringles are mid. The Jonettes are the worst. The Calbee are the best. And the Chip Star are the second best. So I think going forward, I'm probably going to go back over to H Mart or Tokyo Central. And I will probably end up getting more of these next time I go over there. Because these are just good. They're a lot better than I was expecting. So I like them. I'm going to cover these back up for now. But I think these are probably the best 2 options. For sure, the Calbee are the complete best option out of all of them. I'm going to toss them all over here to the side for the time being. And we'll put these ones also. They don't lie about the fact that they're not Mexican food, even on their website. Well, yeah, you know, they don't try to hide it. I mean, if I want real Mexican food, there is this place down the street from me called Rosa Maria's. If you've never had Rosa Maria's, it's absolutely amazing, hands down like the best. But the thing with Rosa Maria's is that it is one of those mom and pop family ran restaurants. So it's family owned, family ran, and everyone there is like 100% Mexican, full blown Mexican. um, Hands down, the best burritos in my city is from Rosa Maria's. They're going to claim Del Taco or Taco Bell real Mexican foods because they're not. They aren't real Mexican food. Hydrate, yes, we shall hydrate. I guess we should compare these two, right? I've already said that this is kind of it would not be my go-to flavor at all. I'm not really a big fan of the blackberry flavor in this. But I am a huge fan of citrus stuff. Especially yuzu. Anything yuzu flavor is my favorite when it comes to citrus. Unfortunately, I don't think I've actually seen a yuzu flavored ramune yet. So, if there is yuzu ramune, I'm going to have to find some and try it. But I do also like lemons and lemonade and other similar stuff. I'm gonna go and toss all that in the trash later. Don't think I'm just like littering here on my desk. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this compares. Okay. On your way to try Rosa Maria's, do it. Rosa Maria's is great. Also, look at this. Look at. So we have that that marble there, right? So I was talking about that marble. Let me pull up Blender again. I think I did a pretty damn good job at getting the marble to look like how it should. Look at this. We got our marble there, and it looks just like our marble here. I mean, maybe not as good, but it looks just like our marble here. So I think I did a pretty good job on mimicking the way that looks for that texture there. The bottle itself needs to be a little bit better, I think. I don't know why I gave it like this blue hint. I gave it like a blue hue to it, and that probably was like a mistake for it. I don't think it needs to actually be blue. It should be clear. These are all clear. Easy fix for that. Oh, that's a little too shiny now. So let's see here. Metallic. I don't know. Maybe a little bit better now. I'm not really sure. I'm probably gonna like redo this from scratch later, just because I'm not completely satisfied with it. It's also a little chubby. I think that's part of the problem too, is we made the bottle, it's way too skinny up here at the top for how thick it is down here. I think that's part of the problem too, is we just didn't have like, we didn't scale it properly. But let's go ahead and compare this one. So I'm going to bring it over here just in case it explodes. I don't want it exploding on my turntable. Which, say hello to the little turntable. We can play rhythm games and stuff with it. It's really fun. Okay. Alright. So, let's try this one now. Honestly, way better. Between the two of these, S tier, F tier. Way better for this one. Yeah, way better. But yeah, so we have a turntable here, and we can do some cool like DJing stuff with it. I do plan on doing DJing streams soon. I just don't know when I'm gonna be doing that. But we will be doing some sort of DJing streams soon, where we'll actually be utilizing this thing, putting this thing to use, as well as this thing that's up here. You can't really see it very well. But we will end up putting this thing to use as well at some point soon. Either using it for playing rhythm games or using it for actually making music with it. But it's been sitting up here collecting dust, and I need to actually use these soon. So yeah, soon enough we will set these up for actually being used, and we'll do some cool music stuff with these. Um, and also my guitars that are sitting up here. You can see the guitars up there. Okay, but in the meantime, let's turn the camera back off and let's hop back into Blender and see what we can do. I'm going to just save this file as it is, so we'll go ahead and save this file. Put that out of the way there. Okay. Actually, before I save the file, what I want to do is I want to come in here and we're going to select all of these down here. Just kind of, you know, bring it in a little bit more. So that way the scale is a little bit better. Yeah, and then Z up here. Okay, that actually looks quite a bit better, I think, in terms of the scale. I mean, it's still wrong. It's still like quite off, but just a little bit better. I'm just gonna save it as it is for now. We'll save this file. We'll start a whole new file. So here we go. We got new file. Okay, yay. Not sure what we're gonna model yet, but we'll find something to model. Yeah, this Satoshi lemon ramen, super good. Way better than the Jujutsu Kaisen one. Okay. Yeah, what should we model actually? I have no clue what we should model. What would be kind of cool to make, I guess, is like the question. What would be something that would be like used a lot by people, I guess. I mean, we could very simply do the launch pad, just sitting here in front of me. That wouldn't be that hard to do. So we could do our launch pad. And yeah, that would actually be pretty easy to model. And I'm sure someone will want it to use as a prop or whatever. They can put it on like their virtual desk or something. We could do that. Or, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out like, what all do I want to make tonight? I'm trying to do like 3D model every single day, and you end up like running out of like ideas when you start doing like a daily model. So I'm just trying to think of what would be kind of cool. Oh, you know what? Here, I got exactly what I want to make. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's start off here. First off, make sure our camera is where we want the camera to be. And our camera is like way the hell up here, right? Yeah, our camera moved. Okay, whatever. Actually, let's go ahead and we're going to delete this. We're going to close up this area. So I want to not split it. I want to close this area. Close area. Bring this down here. Actually, let's close this one too. And we'll close this one. Okay, so we have our cube here. And we're gonna do a cool, fun little thing that I have here. Maybe I'll turn the camera back on to show exactly what it is that I'm thinking of making, but we're going to need a few things here. So first off, get rid of our cube. We're going to add a mesh. We're going to go to a cylinder. We're going to flip this 90 degrees onto the x-axis. Okay, not there, it's rotation. Make sure we're rotating it and not doing other stuff to it. So we're gonna flip it 90 degrees, and we're gonna bring it in to probably 0.1 meters. That's what, 10 centimeters? Actually, this is closer to 2 centimeters. Yeah. And I like to do these as close as I can in terms of like actual scale. It just helps a lot to just scale things properly. So we're gonna bring this down, and we'll bring it down to, I don't know, I'm not measuring this out, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So That's about 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters. This is roughly 6 centimeters. So this needs to go down to 0.06. And the reason why I do it by scale like that, or as close as I can to scale, is just because it is easier to then translate into an actual mesh. Or not into mesh, but into like our posing software that we use for posing stuff. This ends up being a lot easier to work with. So we're gonna have this here. We're gonna bring it up, I don't know, probably about there. So actually maybe a little bit higher up. We're going to then do another cylinder. So we're gonna add another cylinder here. Okay, so add another cylinder. It's going to be right here. We want this one to actually be going up like that now. So this one's gonna go up. We can bring our depth up. Let's see here. This is also probably about 6 centimeters. So we'll do, I don't know, 0.6. I feel like that is too small. We'll give it a try. Actually, we'll go 0.8. We'll go 0.08 centimeters. This one we can get away with doing 16. Yeah, I think 16 is probably what we'll be able to get away with here. And actually, we want this to be even smaller than that, actually. See here, this is, yeah, roughly 2. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay. So we have here roughly the size of a handle that we're going to want. So we can now grab this, we're gonna bring it up. Yeah, we are gonna have to like play around with like scaling and stuff a bit, but that's fine. Okay. First I'm gonna do those. I'm gonna come in here and we're going to squish this on the y-axis. So squish it this way. Probably about that much is probably fine. And then also we are probably going to delete these vertices here. So we're going to select these, we're going to delete them, and you're just going to delete the edge loops. That's going to flatten those out. And actually we can also delete these ones as well. So we can go ahead and delete these ones. Select down here at the bottom, we're going to delete those, not those edge loops. We want to delete or dissolve those edges. If it's dissolving the whole thing, I don't want to dissolve everything, just those vertices, I guess. So you'll notice here that did kind of create some sort of issues for us with these. I probably had these selected wrong then in that case. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Okay, we'll do it this way. We'll delete it on this side first. So we're going to dissolve those vertices. And then on this side here as well, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to, if I can hit the right button, we're going to dissolve these vertices as well. Now that's giving us a weird fill. I don't want to fill in like that, so I think we need to straight up actually just delete those vertices. Rather than dissolving them, we just need to delete them. So we'll just go ahead and we will delete, actually, yeah, we'll delete those vertices entirely. And then same thing here, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna delete those vertices entirely. Select up here, select down there and right there, just hit F to fill that in. It's going to give us this nice little flat surface here. So that looks a lot better. That looks a lot closer to what I'm wanting. We can go then come up here, select all up there, fill that in, select all up down here, fill that in. That's going to give us a nice little handle here. We might want to, with this one down here, we can hit Control B and give us a nice little bevel. Not a huge bevel, just like enough of a bevel, so that way it ends up kind of rounding it out down there at the bottom. So that should be good there. Up here, just go ahead and drag it up a little bit more. I do feel like it should be a little bit longer, so maybe about there, that should be good. And then what we need to do also is, depending on how we want to do this, if we want to be like accurate to the model itself, what we might want to do is, well, actually, it's not going to matter. They're not going to need the virtual model. Virtual models don't need batteries, so we don't need to actually worry about making the battery compartment. So we won't worry about that. What we will do, though, is we're going to add in here a couple extra of these. So I'm just going to very simply do a Shift D, bring it down, scale it down quite a bit, maybe about there. And we're going to bring it over, bring it on the x-axis. I want to try to center this up as best I can. It looks like that is quite nicely centered. So now we're going to move it over here on this side, bring it in to about here. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to add an array modifier. And we're going to make this 0, and actually turn off relative offset, turn on constant offset. Again, make the distance on the x 0. It's actually distance on the y that we want. Actually, not the y, it's on the z for whatever reason. So we're going to bring it back on the z. And I think putting it to 0.12 is probably going to be close enough. That looks about good enough to me, so that's good there. What we're then going to do is click on here again. We're going to add a Boolean modifier to it. So not on this here. Go ahead and add your Boolean. Go ahead and select these. And then you can double check that they're working by turning those cylinders off. You'll see that does give us this little inset here. Just go ahead and apply this one already. So that's going to be applied. Now grab our cylinders. And we're going to scale them down just ever so slightly. Probably about there. Actually, maybe not that small, but just a tiny bit of scaling down so that we can tell that there is like a little indentation around there, or some sort of it's like a spot around there, basically. Maybe go a little bit smaller. Probably about there is fine. Okay, hit S again, and then we want to put it on the y-axis only and scale these down a little bit further. Okay, maybe not that small, but I don't know, probably about here. And then we're going to just bring it in right about there. Actually, I might make this a little bit bigger. And I'm not trying to like make it 100% perfect. There we go, that should be fine. And you're just going to have to adjust the size of this one for the array. Go ahead and just double check visually. Yeah, it looks close enough to me, so I think we'll call that one good there. Now now what we're going to do is we're going to apply this array. So it's going to be applied to that. On this side, we're going to put an X, and on the other side, we're going to put an O. So we can grab our text modifier, or not our text modifier, but we can add a object. Go to text, and you're going to have this big old gigantic text here. Just go into edit mode, delete all of that. We're going to set this to be an X, like that. And we will end up scaling it down quite a bit. So I don't remember if you can just come down here. Actually, you can. Yeah, so we're going to just bring our size down quite a bit here. Go out of edit mode, put into our what's it called, object mode. Going to hit R, and then bring it on the x-axis about 90 degrees. You want it to be 90 degrees even, just tell it 90 degrees down here. Then we're going to grab it, put it on the y-axis, bring it up on the z. We do need to scale it down quite a bit more, so we are going to want to finish scaling this down. Probably a little bit smaller than that still, so maybe 20. 20 seems good. Oh, make sure we are moving it on the correct axis. I don't know, right about there, maybe right here. I'm gonna try to, again, try to keep it centered as best we can. So we'll go ahead and do our best to make sure We are centering it up. Where did it go? I just lost track of... Oh, we accidentally hit it. Okay. So, you know, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect as long as we can get it close enough. I think probably right there is probably as close as we're going to get it. We can then extrude this. Actually, extruding is not going to work in this mode. You have to go into edit mode and then extrude, except that needs to be converted to a mesh first. So we'll go ahead and convert this to a mesh. Actually, real quick, before we convert to a mesh, we can go to geometry and we can actually go to extrude here. That's obviously going to be way too big. So we want to bring this down to maybe 0.01. That's still a little bit big, but we'll go ahead and take care of it. We also don't want to be, again, this like gigantic here. So I have to play around with it. I might actually just do this. Instead of extruding it there, let's do what we were planning on doing originally. We're going to go to object. We're going to go to convert. I should say convert down here. Convert to mesh. That now converted this text to a mesh. We now go into our mode here, into our edit mode, and we'll add a bevel to it. So let's go ahead and add a bevel modifier. Should be around here somewhere. Here it is. And you can see here that's not actually working, so it's not going to work the way we wanted to there. So yeah, we're just going here, select A. We're going to extrude it out just a little bit, and then scale it in just a little bit as well. That should be good. And then we can then grab the whole thing and put it right in here like so. That way it's touching right up against it. Just want to be kind of touching up against it. Doesn't completely need to go into it. It should be fine as it is. And having that bevel there will add a little bit of extra texture to it. That looks good to me. I like how that looks. On this side here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a text object. So let's go ahead and add our text. We're going to hit tab, go into edit mode, and just set this to be a circle. There's other ways of doing this, but I'm being lazy, so we're just going to be doing it this right here. So we set our transforms and just make this only 90 degrees on the x-axis. And if you want to, you can also do 180 degrees on the z-axis. 180 degrees, not 190 degrees. There we go. And then scale it down. I think for size, I don't know, I'm trying to remember what we did for size. We did quite a small valley here. We're going to just bring it down like this. And then we will do our best to kind of center it up here in a moment. Still is a little bit too big, so we'll just have to play their size a little bit more. I think that's probably about good there. So try your best to center it up. That looks pretty decent enough. I think that's probably the best we're going to get of it. So we're going to do the same thing now. We're going to convert this to a mesh. So go to convert, go to mesh, hit tab, select all, hit extrude, just bring it out just a tiny little bit, and then bring it in ever so slightly. And actually that doesn't quite work as nicely as I was hoping for this particular thing. So just be mindful that sometimes it doesn't always work perfectly. So what you might want to do is actually just do Control B. And Control B is clearly not working here. We should have actually just done this as a circle or torus probably, instead of trying to use text. Doing it as a text thing really added a bunch of extra geometry that we probably shouldn't have, but whatever. We'll do our best to work with it. And yeah, I'm just going to scale that in on there. We're going to grab this outer ring here. And then we'll scale this out like that. Yeah, see, as you can see here, because we did it this way, we are getting extra geometry over here. That looks weird. So let's actually just delete this altogether. And we'll do it the quote-unquote proper way of doing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to circle. Actually, we could just grab this and just duplicate this thing. So Shift D, and we're going to now get rid of the modifier here. So just go over here to our modifiers tab. Actually, it doesn't even have the modifier applied to it. We're going to bring it all the way up this way. We're going to delete this extra one here. So just go ahead and delete all of it. We're going to select this one here. And we're going to inset a face here in the inside. Make sure that you only have this face selected and then this face selected. Hit I to inset, just like that. Delete the inner face on both sides, so just delete that inner face there. And now what you could do is select your edge loops. Hit F. Oh, actually, don't want to do it that way. But we want to fill in these holes here. So, easiest way to do it is just going to be to fill it in this way. A little bit of a pain. Actually, wait, that is also kind of skewed weirdly too. Now I'm looking about that. Why is that skewed weirdly on that? What made that skew that direction? Here, we'll do this. I'm going to delete all of the outer faces. And we'll delete this one as well. And we're going to scale this one down to size first. So go ahead and scale it down to size. Go ahead and then bring it over to however we need. We're going to try to, again, center that up. That's probably good enough there. Hit I. Bring that in like so. So now it's going to give us a little inset here. We're going to delete this face. Select this outer loop. Hit E to extrude. And bring it out just a little bit. And then we can scale it down. Again, that's going to do the same problems we were having before, so that's probably not exactly what we want. What we might want to do actually then is hit I again. There we go. And then we're going to bring this out like so. Just that way it creates a nice little bevel there. Looks a little bit better. And maybe we want to actually bring that in a little bit further, like that maybe. And then out, so we have a nice little bevel there. Okay, so we have two buttons now. We have a yes button and we have a no button on both sides. This probably should actually maybe be a little bit smaller, but it's whatever. I'm gonna call it fine as it is. I'm gonna grab this. We're going to bring it down on top like so, like that. And then we can add a boolean. And if you notice here, if we get rid of this now, oh, I had added a boolean to this. I'm pretty sure I did. So if we were to get rid of this here, you'll see it has a nice little cutout there. It's actually probably better to go the opposite direction. So maybe what we want to do actually is instead of doing it that way, maybe we want to do actually is go the other direction. So grab this one here, and we're going to add the boolean, not a bevel. We're going to add a boolean. Select that one. And now if we select this, actually that's still not applying the way it should be applying for whatever reason. Why is it not applying? Well, only this thing selected. There we go. That's going to just kind of mat those together just a little bit better there. And then lastly, we're going to put a nice little cylinder up here at the top. So we'll put another little cylinder up here. And then we'll do a couple of textures. Just really simple textures, nothing like too fancy for it. So if we come up here, we can add another little cylinder. We're going to go to Object, Mesh, go to Cylinder. Make sure that these are all, properly set. I don't know why these are being, because they're being aligned to the 3D cursor when they should be aligned to world. It's kind of weird that's doing that, but whatever. Bring our radius down even smaller. That should be good there for the radius. Bring our depth all the way down, probably about there. And then we're going to bring it up to here. And then we'll do a nice little cap up here on the top. So we'll do kind of a nice little cap up here. Make sure we are not screwing stuff up. I want to add same thing, just add a boolean to it. It's going to match that better, which is going to be important when we go to what are we making. You will see what we're making here in a second. If you've ever seen like Aki Dearest, some of her channels or some of her videos, she has this little thing that she has like an X side and a circle side. It's like a yes or no kind of thing, and I actually have one right here in front of me, and that's why we're modeling it, because I have the source right here. But that's what we're making. Just a simple little thing that can flip around and go yes or no. A little buzzer, sort of. I'll show mine on camera here in a moment as well. I'm going to go over here. We're going to add an edge loop. Actually add a couple edge loops here. Bring them up like so. And then we're going to add another edge loop in here. That's fine. Doesn't really matter how they're positioned, as long as we position them about now. Going to do the same thing here. And then what you might want to do is just simply grab these rings here. Grab those ones. You can hit Alt and then E, and then extrude along normals. And just bring them out a little tiny bit like that. And then up here, actually, we're going to make this into a dome. There's a few different ways to make this into a dome. I think the easiest way is probably just to add another sphere up here and just merge that all together with the sphere. So, actually, what we could have done is we actually didn't need we don't need these faces up here. So I've already extruded all that. I'm going to just delete some of these extra faces up here that we're not going to need, because they're going to get removed by a sphere anyways. So just going to delete those extra faces and select the edge loop here. Make sure you have you're on the edge selection, and then just go ahead and fill that in. And yeah, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put another little tiny dome up here on the top. So for dome, and go to object mode, go to add object, go to mesh, go to UV sphere. Again, I don't know why it's aligning with the cursor right now. It was aligning perfectly fine earlier. It's just being dumb. I don't know what got into it. But we're going to we're going to bring this all the way up. And then just bring our radius down until it's roughly where we want it, right there. Now it's a little bit too high up here, but that's fine. I would just bring it down to about there. And then we're going to go into our edit mode, and we're going to select this whole bottom half. All of the bottom half there. Make sure that's all selected, and then just delete the bottom half. So just go ahead and delete all these faces here. Kind of don't want these ones here either, but we're going to just simply delete the edge loop right here. So delete the edges, and then also delete all these extra edges that are just kind of floating around. Still have some extra ones here. Yeah, I'm going to delete all of those. Because we don't need those edges there. We can get rid of them. Back into our object mode. Now, this here actually has too many segments. So, I think we are probably going to want to... I don't know. Here, actually, let's go ahead and do it this way. Go to that. I'm going to go back into our edit mode with this thing here. I said edit mode. And actually, I'm going to delete this face again. Oh, I'm going to delete that one. Yeah, we can actually delete all those edges. Select this whole edge loop here. Okay, I'm hitting Control Z and it's not Control Z. There we go. Delete that face. I'm going to select the whole edge loop. If it'll let me. The way I'm selecting it is I'm just holding down Alt and then clicking where I want it. Oh, actually we're in the wrong mode. There we go. And then we're going to hit F3. Type in grid fill. You want grid fill or Control F. And let's see here. Simple blending should be fine. You can adjust your span here, however much you want it to be adjusted by. And then if there's any offset you need, you can set an offset as well. I think we're fine on the offset though. Okay. That still isn't quite what I want, but it's closer enough, so it'll work. So we can now select these and bring these points out. It's gonna have to manually grab them. And basically we're just going to make a dome out of it this way. It's not quite working how I want to because we are missing some loops here. We can actually kind of fix that by just dragging these like that with our knife tool. So just connect all those together. Anywhere where you're kind of missing vertices, just go ahead and connect the vertices together using your knife tool. And that'll help to kind of smooth out the dome that we're building. There we go. So we have a nice little dome here. It's not really the best of domes, but it'll work for our purposes. It's gonna be smoothed out anyways, so it's fine. Maybe bring it down just a little bit more. Okay, so that's good there now. And now what we can do is we can start to add some textures to here. So first things first though, actually, what I want to do is apply our modifiers to everything that has a modifier. I think we're all good on modifiers. Nothing else has a modifier. I'll go ahead and select everything and hit Control J to merge it all into one single object. That's all one object now, and we can set this to shade smooth. Oh, we do have a couple issues here with some of our shading. So the question is, what is causing that? And that is actually being caused by some extra vertices here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just hit M and then merge these by distance. And then just bring it up a little bit. I actually want to merge the other direction. So I'm going to hit GG twice, slide it over, and then merge these by distance like that. That didn't quite work again. But what it is basically these need to be merged. So I think there's actually like 2 extra vertices here. And you know, this is just something that can happen sometimes when you are messing around with some of these modifiers. Once you apply the modifiers, they can do some weird things. Let's actually go back out of this then. So we'll back out. Leave these as separate objects for now. Yeah, so it's this one here that is the problem. So if we go ahead and get rid of this, we can tab into this one. And we want to merge these together. So see here, some of these vertices, they're kind of like way off to the side. So you might want to do is just grab them, bring them as close as you can to each other. And all I'm doing is I'm hitting, clicking on it, and I'm hitting G twice, and then dragging it over as close as I can. So that way we can do a merge. And when we do the merge, it will collapse them in on each other. And you'll see down here it says removed 4 vertices. That's what we want. So we want to remove those extra vertices. So now there's only going to be 1 vertice here instead of 2 vertices. So sometimes you just got to kind of go through and make sure you are doing that. If you get extra stuff here, again, just kind of make use of your knife tool if you need to. You can use the knife tool to kind of fix some of those and smooth them out. It's not ideal, but it is something that you can do from time to time to just kind of help smooth things out. And it's maybe up here. There we go. Looks a little bit better. It's not ideal, but it looks a little bit better. On this side here too, we're probably going to do the same thing. So I'll just go ahead and snap that like so, and that should help to smooth it out. We have another one down here. I think there is another like shading problem coming up somewhere around here. Has to do with this one. Not really sure what the issue with that one is. Showing up on both sides like that though. I might want to do maybe just maybe it's an issue with our normals, so we can adjust our normals if we need to. But I'm not really sure what's causing that particular problem right there. Other than what we can try doing maybe is triangulating the whole thing. So if we hit A and then go to face, we can go to triangulate faces. And actually that kind of helps a lot to reveal what's going on here and what the problem is. You might want to set these to a different method of triangulation. See if that helps. I don't think any of that's going to help right now though. But the biggest problem actually is the fact that we had cut into it. And because we cut into it, it's creating this issue here. So what I'm going to do, try doing this to see if this will help, is add a loop cut. Okay, I said I want to add a loop cut, but I want to add across the way here. Yeah, and it's not actually letting me add these loop cuts. Not sure why, but we'll figure it out. We can go to mesh and maybe try doing this too, symmetrizing it. That might help a lot as well, actually. Symmetrizing it will probably help so much, thinking about it. Okay. But it is still triangulating weird right here. So maybe what I'm going to do is grab this here from the center. See, it's applying the center weirdly too. It's kind of a weird thing. Put it in this view real quick. Wrong button. And I'm just gonna do the best I can to kind of try to smooth that out. It's not really the best of smoothing. The topology here definitely could be a lot better, but that's probably the best I'm gonna get right now. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side too. So the way we did that is we just went directly to our center right here. We slid this part up as best as we could, and then we selected all of those and then slid those all up again as best as we could down here. Doing our best we can to try to make it an even, flat surface. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely ways we can make it look better, but we're not trying to make this like 100% perfect of a render right now. But I definitely think coming back over here and like kind of fixing this would make it look so much better. And you can even try doing like a remeshing of it. If we do remesh and then sharp, that might help a lot. But you'll see here you're getting these extra little like cut-ins. Actually right here is probably the best way of doing it. So we can just go ahead and apply this, and then let's try this now. Let's try shading it smooth. Now that added a shit ton of extra geometry, so you might then need to go to your edge and do an unsubdivide. And maybe 1 or 2 levels of unsubdivision, but there's so many extra spots now, and I don't really like that. So I'm actually going to not do a remesh here. Oh no, I'll figure it out later. But anyways, go ahead and bring our other stuff back. This one up here, go ahead and shade that smooth. Okay. And then down here too, we want to shade all of these smooth. I'm actually going to merge all these into one single thing. So we can just hit Control J, it'll merge them all into one. And then you can smooth that out as needed. Alright, so now let's go ahead and add a material to these. Now all these are probably going to end up with the same default material, so just go ahead and give them the default material here. We can adjust our color of it. Make sure we're in material preview. And we want this to be white. I like to do an off-white instead of a pure white. So we'll go ahead and make it an off-white color. And then we're going to create 2 new materials here. We're going to go into our edit mode, select only this face here. We're going to assign it this new material. Then select on this one, assign it this last material here. Okay, and then we're going to label this X. We're going to label this one O. And then we'll label this body. Okay, now what we need to do is actually go over here. We're going to drag out another window. We're going to set this to be our UV editor. And you'll see here we have this nice little circle here. You can, if you want to, just select them all, bring them up as close as you can to the center. I don't know, probably about there is fine. Okay, so make sure you know what side is what. So this side's going to be the X side, this side's going to be the O side. So just have both of those selected. We're going to export this UV layout, and we're going to go to props. We're going to go to, I don't know, let's do it here. And we'll just make this, buzzer underscore UV. Go ahead and open up Figma like we usually do, because we tend to do everything in Figma. We're going to drag in that object. So if we come over here to our props folder, I'm going to go over to my props folder real quick, and I'm going to drag in the buzzer UV. We're going to make this frame, so we're going to just go ahead and give it a frame. For the frame, do a fill color Again, match it to the same color that we're doing for the rest of the body. So for that one, it's going to be FF, FA, FA. Alright, so we have our fill here. Going to just draw a ellipses. Place it as fast as we can over that spot. So right about there. So 490 by 490. Yep, that looks good to me. Go ahead and just duplicate it. So we're going to do Control C, Control V. Bring it over here. And put it in the same spot, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're just going to put text here in the center. We're going to put a big ol' O. And we're going to make this, I don't know, I think that's red. I'm pretty sure that's red. I probably want to actually make this like much bigger. And actually, here's an even easier way of doing this. Let's get rid of the text. Get rid of the text for that one. Okay, and just Control C, Control V. Drag it in to, I don't know, 400. Center it up as best as you can. We're going to then add a stroke. Make this, I don't know, 30, we'll do 40 pixels. So 40 pixels. I believe this is roughly red, so that should be good there. On this one, though, we do need to add a whatchamacallit, an X here in the middle. So we're just going to do one big ol' X. We probably could have done it through like a vector, but it's easier this way for now. I probably want this to actually be like close to like 500 point font, so we'll try 500. Okay, and then we're going to just kind of shape it as best we can here. Try to make it centered if we are able to. Alright, like so. That one is going to be blue, so we want to set this to be blue. I don't know, probably. Okay, that's not blue enough. Like a darker blue. Yeah, should be good. Another thing you could do actually is what I think is a little bit nicer looking is maybe do a plus and then just flip the plus on its side. So you might want to do that as well. That might work a little bit better. I'm just gonna have to make this even bigger if we do that though. 100. Okay. And then, I don't know, probably about there. And then rotate this 45 degrees. Yeah, 45 degrees. So, right about there. Try to center it up as best we can. Yeah, it's good enough. Okay. We can hide these other ellipses. Leave it like this. Actually, this one here, I would do a no fill, so just get rid of the fill on the inside. We're then going to export this, so go ahead and export it. We're going to just export it as frame 1. We will label this buzzer underscore albedo. I think I misspelled albedo, but it's whatever. But now what we can do is come over here, add a image texture, and go to our props folder. And did I save it in the wrong spot? I might have saved it in the wrong spot on accident. Let me open up Figma again real quick. Oh yeah, we did. We put it in the DDR cabinet folder. So what we want actually is to put it into the main folder here. Give it a second to populate. There we go. And I might need to refresh our view. Oh, and why are we off slightly? What happened here? Let's see here. UV, unwrap. It was fine the way it was wrapped, and now it is like all skewed weirdly. for whatever reason. But let's see here. If we need to, just like resize it if needed. I don't get why it is getting kind of skewed for whatever reason. It shouldn't be getting skewed. It should be all the same, unless we had accidentally, and it's quite possible that we had accidentally like what's it called? Scaled it weirdly on like one axis. That is definitely a possibility that we could have done. But that shouldn't be an issue because the way that we had imported this in 1024 by 1024, okay. Gonna save this as props, buzzer, albedo. Oh, that's probably what happened there. Okay. So let's see here. I'm gonna pull back up in Figma, and no, this is 1024 by 1024. Oh, you know what? Here, we've got the clip for contents. That's probably what it was. If we didn't clip it right, then that could have been the problem. Okay, and then we'll do underscore albedo. See if that ends up making a difference. No, we only want those. Only want this one. We're gonna make sure that those are both assigned, but that these here are not what we're assigning. So again, I'm going to select both of these, and we'll go to our image texture. Okay, so we got one side assigned now, and now let's go ahead and assign this other side. Same thing, image texture, and then go to props, go to our buzzer, and there we go. It looks like we did actually misscale this at one point, but it's fine. It's not like it's going to be a huge deal. And now we have it, so now what we can do is we can just merge it all together into a single item. And bring our camera, make sure our camera is good. Yeah, we now have this cool little buzzer, and like I said, I actually have this exact one on my desk right here in front of me. So it's not quite exact, but it's close enough. I don't want to do like too much effort onto it. But if I were to come over here and I were to turn on the camera again, so if we turn on the camera, I have a little buzzer. It actually lights up at the top, only when you use this one. But basically, the idea is you have this little circle here on this side, you have X on this side, so it's whatever side it's facing. So if I wanted to go like yes, I would flip it here, and I'd be like yes. If I want to be like no, I'd flip around and be like no. You've probably seen these, probably like Aki Dearest videos. She uses one of these a lot. I finally got one not too long ago, and I was like super happy that I was able to find one and get one. But yeah, so now we can just toss this onto Booth, and people will have a cool little buzzer that they can show yes or no with. Probably is some things that can be done to, you know, like I said, clean this up a little bit better down here. I'm not really sure what to do about that right now. I'll kind of figure that out later. But Really really simple buzzer. A really simple thing to do. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's done. I'll go ahead and just save this as buzzer. Alright, so the buzzer's done. Cool. So far we've made a vomiting bottle, we've made a buzzer. Trying to think like what else we can do tonight. I'm sure there's other stuff we can do as well. There's always a lot of stuff we can do. It's just a matter of having it pop into our mind and actually making it a reality, making it happen. So yeah, we got buzzer now, we have a lemonade bottle, what else? I think would be helpful and would be kind of cool to make. Not really sure right now. I have all kinds of stuff on my desk though that I'm turning into objects. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I will figure it out. Or actually, you know what? It's about to be 11 o'clock, and I do have a meeting at 8 in the morning, so... And we've been streaming since, like, last night, so... We've been streaming forever, the last couple of days. So, I'm actually gonna call it a night here. Let's see if we have anyone that we can raid. Let's see here. Back to Twitch. Yeah, I don't really have anyone available at the moment. So, we'll just call it here. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be working on some other cool 3D models tomorrow. But I'm gonna try to settle down and get ready for my meeting that I have first thing in the morning. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful night.